Well. Good morning, everybody. Aloha. It is Ben and Woods I'm live from Kauai still. Last show in paradise, ladies and gentlemen. Will be good to get home tomorrow and back in the studio on Friday. What a victory for our San Diego Padres last night. Holy crap, Ola. I'd like to dedicate this show today to one Ramon Laureano. Thank you for slowing my heartbeat down and letting me actually get a decent night's sleep last night, albeit a very short one. I'm Woodsy on the screen, to my right, Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm ready to get home and see you guys again. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports and anchor. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning. Can't believe it's only Wednesday. Feels like it's been a long week, but a lot of things to do. I'm glad you are on your way home tomorrow. I wanted to ask you first, though, before anything else. Are you experiencing island fever at all?
I'm not getting island fever. What was weird was a couple days ago, I can't deny it. I told you I was getting a little homesick. I was ready to come home. Now that I'm faced with the end of the trip, I'm really ready to stay. So it's weird.
Make up your mind.
I know it kind of, and Hannah said, I know I feel the exact same way. We went and had dinner last night. The kids are at the grandparents again, which is fantastic. We've had such a great time. And I think what we did yesterday really put it over the edge of like, God, this place is special, man. Special. We did the hike to Queen's Bath yesterday, which is in Princeville, which is not too far from where we're staying. And I can honestly say I've never seen anything like that on the planet, ever. And I don't know that there is anything really like that in the world. It was the coolest thing. And now it's a hike right up my alley. It's a little bit of a treacherous hike because you go straight. It's like a straight downhill hike. And it's a little bit slippery. And it's, you have to walk through some tall grass and stuff like that. I mean, really tall. Like it looks like a cornfield. And you walk through some of that. But then when you come out, you look at these big pools and you go from lava rock to lava rock and you jump. And, it was one of the best days I think I've ever had on the planet. Just an incredibly beautiful setting. Was able to jump off rocks into the one of the Queen's baths. I mean, it was magical, man. It is just the coolest place. I sent you guys some pictures yesterday.
The pictures were amazing. Like it. Yeah, pictures
incredible?
Were absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
And I can see, obviously, you're going to be sad when you leave. Now, Paulie, you've never been to Hawaii.
Correct.
Do you know what island fever is? Because it's a real thing that I've experienced.
You start going crazy, right?
It's also known as rock fever. It's a psychological feeling of being trapped or confined when you're on an island due to its size or isolation. And a couple of times, I've been to Hawaii like 3 or 4 times, and you look out and you feel like, oh my God, there's thousands of miles of water between me and anything else. Yeah. And you start to panic a little bit for some reason. Like you feel trapped. So I tried not to think about it, but it actually is real. But Woods, you don't get bothered at all being so cut off from the rest of humanity on this planet.
Like, I haven't been on a cruise either, but I have a fear of like cabin fever, where you're just like the idea of being out there in the open water with nothing around you. It kind of freaks me out.
I have more of a fear of scurvy than I do. I don't even know what scurvy is, but I really like saying it. I really, the only thing that gave me panic last night were the San Diego Padres. Oh, there's your old pal Woodsy jumping off a rock into one of the
cliff diving. How high up is that?
So it's probably about 8 feet down, but you have to jump out, which makes it look, because there's a little rock wall that you have to clear, and if you don't, it's not going to be fun for you.
Yeah.
So you got to jump out. And it was great.
You wouldn't let the kids do that.
Well, Bo came down there with me, and he was going to, and then he chickened out. I shouldn't say that about my 7-year-old. He decided against it at the last minute.
He made the very mature and maybe wise decision to not put himself at risk by forcing himself to jump and do something he might not have been ready to do. Or you can just say he chickened out.
Yeah, he wimped out, I could say, chickened out. He was cowardly. No, he's 7 years old, man. We we got down there and he was like, I don't know. Dude, this guy hem-haws about everything. Hems and haws about his cereal. So I wasn't super surprised, but they both did really well on the hike. They caught a little frog, put it right back, but they caught a little frog in their hands. They were stoked about that. Caught some tadpoles, and we saw a bunch of sea turtles out in the ocean. It was magical, man. Such a cool place to go with my family. We really had a blast. And then we went to Alini Beach, which is known for its snorkeling. And we got in the water and went snorkeling for about 2 hours, and we saw exactly 0 fish. Not one. I didn't see a minnow. I didn't see anything out there. Now, we didn't go super far out to the reef because I didn't have any fins. I just had the snorkel. But and you need the fins. The current's really strong. But oh my God, man, we were out there kind of screwing around. We did find some fresh guava that we picked up and ate right off the tree, which was kind of cool.
Well, you should be okay for the scurvy then, as long as you're eating some fresh guava. So that's good.
We got guava there in us, so no scurvy here. But it was pretty special. And so you get, you see something like that, you have a day like that, and you're like, man, that's crazy. But yeah, the only thing that panicked me last night was the San Diego Padres. And I will say it's probably it's not the only thing that panicked me yesterday. I got to tell you, you guys know, I've told you before, I have a little bit of fear of birds. You guys know, I've told you about my bird fear.
I did not know that you had a fear.
Totally told us that.
Of birds.
It's more like a aversion to them.
Ornithophobia. Yeah, I don't like them very much. I appreciate them and, I guess what they do. But I don't like them soaring around. I feel like, and especially in Do you feel
Kauai,
like they're going to dive bomb you, or what?
Yes.
What's the worry that they're coming to come down and get you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Peck my eyes out, peck my soul from my body. Yes, I do. I feel like they're going to come get me. So I don't really like them. I feel like I've had some interactions with birds over the years that I haven't really enjoyed, scaring me and whatnot, and so. We're sitting at breakfast, just me and my wife. This is actually a couple days ago. We're sitting at breakfast, and there's roosters everywhere here. They're just everywhere. And there's little ducks, and there's all kinds of little birds, and they're always underfoot. And we're sitting at breakfast, and my wife gets the brilliant idea to scare me. And she gets like some pieces of her toast, and we're sitting there like on these bar stools. My feet are kind of touching the ground. And she throws all this toast at my feet. Well, guess what happens?
Oh, my God.
Guess what happens? About 40 birds come up and start pecking at my feet. Now I yelp. Like, because I have 40 birds and chickens and roosters trying to eat my feet off because there's little flecks of toast on there. And I looked at her and she's crying, laughing. Like she's in hysterics. And I looked at her and I go, payback is a mother effer. I said, you're toast. No pun intended. I said, you're done for. And I said, really? Like that sucks. I hated that so much. And that's mean. And I don't like it. I said, you're done for. Well, payback came yesterday in the form of lunch. We went to lunch and, I showed you guys, or I told you about, the chafe that I had earlier on. Well, thanks to one of our tier ones that recommended Surfer Salve, Salve, Surfer Salve. Comes in a tin about the size of a silver dollar. And you just take your finger, you rub it in the salve, and you rub it down on your taint and down in your inner thighs, your creamy, milky inner thighs. You rub it in there, and then you leave it. My mother-in-law had my salve in her bag. So at lunch, she pulls it out on the table, puts it on the table. She goes, I found your Surfer salve. I said, oh, thank you. My wife reaches across, opens the salve, puts her finger in it, and starts rubbing it on her lips. And I sat back and I go, you know where that's been, right? She goes, what are you talking about? I go, oh, yeah, I put my finger and I smeared it all over my taint and my thighs. And then I put my finger back in again to do the other side. And now you've just taken it and you've rubbed it on your lips. So enjoy. And she was like, like spitting, drinking water. Listen, man, if you come for the king, you best not miss, is what I will tell Mrs. Woods. It was the punishment worse than death for her.
And that wasn't even like a plan.
It's not lip balm. I mean, what?
No, it's not lip balm.
That was kind of weird anyway.
It is for it's for your taint, and it's for your creamy, milky, hairy, rash inner thighs. And she's sitting there at lunch like this. I go, yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's all me, all undercarriage in there. Okay. It's meant for one person. It's not meant to share. Okay. So come for the king. Best not miss. And I didn't miss yesterday. So I sat back and just, if I had had a cigar, Ben, I would have leaned back and blown a nice plume of smoke. So I got her. Needless to say, like I said, the kids were at the grandparents last night. Needless to say, your boy, I struck out. On the second to the last night here, because she was still not happy about, the taint cream on her lips. So
I can imagine.
So it was hysterical. And good prank on me to throw food at my feet and get attacked by birds. And now I'm terrified of any time we go to lunch. But man, it's been a really great trip. I'm so ready to get home and see the cats and stuff. But it was pretty beautiful yesterday. It was a perfect day. Did not rain, not even a raindrop. I mean, it was just perfect temperature all day.
We didn't really talk about it, but your experience with the birds reminds me of the prank that Mud pulled on Don a week or two ago when they saw a spider in the booth, and then Mud kind of tickled his ear, and Don just jumped about 3 feet, thinking that there was an insect crawling on him, which was, I mean, it's pretty funny. I feel bad for Don in that situation. I feel I'm the one who usually is the victim of such pranks, so I had some sympathy for him, and I have some sympathy for you in the bird situation, because if you actually have a fear of birds, that's a very uncomfortable spot to be in if they're all around you.
It's not great, and their little beaks are pecking at you and stuff. And D in the chat says, that's disgusting, bro. You really did that to her? No, D. She did it to herself. I did not take it out and recommend it. It was on the table. She grabbed it, smeared it on her lips. I go, by the way, guess where that's been? And, like I said, man, payback.
Now, if you hadn't said anything, she really would have been fine. I mean, I don't think anything bad would have happened to her. It's only because she knows that all of a sudden she gets uncomfortable about it.
Correct.
But honestly, if you hadn't said anything, life would have gone on and there would have been no repercussions or consequences. It's one of those, again, weird psychological things that just because she knows you had stuck your finger in there and rubbed it and then stuck it back in again, that all of a sudden it becomes quote unquote gross. But probably, there's no really health hazards to it.
Can I interest you guys in a little surfer salve?
It's
good. Really good. You guys don't need any?
No, I'm good.
You guys chafe at all?
Not really. No.
Okay. I mean, I have in the, going to the beach on a daily basis. I can't tell you the last time I went to the beach more than, one day out of 3 years. So I just don't have a chance to chafe that often anymore.
What about on the golf course? You don't chafe a lot on the golf course?
Yeah, I don't really.
No,
I think
I might get you a tin for your bag
just in case
you need it. It's real. I mean, it's very small.
I used to.
It's no skin off my back.
I think clothing has gotten better over the years. Like it more breathable, not as you don't get quite as sweaty as you used to. It's just lighter, and materials have improved so much that
there's some courses where I know if I'm going to be like walking a lot and it's rough terrain, like I may wear like compression shorts under whatever pants or shorts I'm wearing to golf in. But other than that, I'm usually pretty good.
Yeah, it's no, listen, I get you some. You throw it in your baseball bag, Paulie, or you throw it in your. I'm looking for some gift ideas for you guys. I've got you a couple things yet. When you eliminate macadamia nuts as a gift, you're pretty much screwed when you're on Hawaii, because everything is macadamia nut. And I went to listen to this. So we go to dinner and we sit down and we have this delicious, we've been eating almost every night at this restaurant called the Dolphin. And if you've ever been to Kauai, you know the Dolphin. It's just perfect. It's perfect locations right by this river. It's just stunning. The food is really good. We order our meal. We had sushi. It was delicious and fresh. And we both decide we want to get a dessert because we're on vacation and we like dessert. So Hannah gets the hula pie. And I look at the menu and I go, oh my God, a warm brownie with ice cream. That sounds incredible. Warm brownie, macadamia nuts, and ice cream. And I go, brownie sundae for the win. I'm going to take it. Well, they bring it out, and it's orange. The brownie is orange. It's not a chocolate brownie. They did not specify. It was an orange brownie.
What was it made out of? I've seen blondies before,
right? I've seen
brownies
before,
but I've
too.
never seen an orangey.
So they sit it down, and I go, oh my God, she brought me the wrong thing. Oh, before that, she put them down. She goes, oh, 2 desserts, one for you and one for you. So we were dessert shamed by the lady. We start laughing. Didn't slow us down. So I look down and I go, Hannah, this is orange. And it had like this orange glaze on it. So I bite into it. I think it was a macadamia nut brownie, like made of macadamia nuts, but it tasted like oranges. It was not great at all. So I got duped by the macadamia nut brownie. But that's the thing. If you guys don't like macadamia nuts, there's really no gifts for you here. I mean, everything is macadamia nut sandwiches, macadamia nut, everything. So I've been struggling on finding some gifts to bring home for you guys and for the studio.
How about some nice like yellowtail? I enjoy some sushi.
I was gonna say some shave ice. Just like get a free dry ice and put it in a freezer safe container.
That won't be inconvenient, right?
Yes,
it won't cost more than $200, I don't think, to ship it like overnight.
I'm going to bring you some yellowtail, just one big yellowtail. The fish here is ungodly. Like when you get the nigiri at a restaurant, you eat it and you're like, whoa, it's just incredible, man. It is really, really good. So we've had a great time. Kind of decided next year what we're going to do because we got to fly from here tomorrow to Maui. We connect out of Maui to go home. Hannah said, next year, why don't we do a few days in Kauai? And then go to Maui for a few days and then fly out of there on a direct flight. I go, that's it. That's, we've seen everything on Kauai that we need to see. We still want to come here to relax, but it was magical. We truly had a magical day yesterday. And then, kind of getting home in time for first pitch. But I got to tell you, man, the discourse yesterday that I saw when that lineup came out, it made me, I got like panicked. I really, really did. And I found myself online way more than I wanted to be yesterday talking about Mike Schultz lineup construction. And honestly, I think the boys bailed him out a little bit last night. There's a lot to talk about with that game and what's going on with this team, but holy smokes, dude, it was crazy. I mean, it was absolutely crazy.
Well, we will get into all of it, set the menu for what's coming up here on a Wednesday edition of Ben and Woods. Kelly's got traffic, and then we'll do a couple of minutes, tell you what's coming up on the program here. Good morning, everybody. It is Ben and Woods, Tier 1. See you all in the chat. Thanks for joining us early here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the Oceanside Police Department, now hiring public safety dispatchers. Good morning. We're up to kind of a busy start here. Got this collision on northbound 805 before Imperial. It's in one of the middle lanes. Also, accident involving a couple cars southbound 15 before the King Freeway. It's in the center divide. 2-car collision on the Genesee off-ramp, southbound 5 there over to the left shoulder. The Oceanside Police Department is hiring public safety dispatchers, earn up to $87,000 a year. Lateral bonus is up to $11,000. 12-hour shifts, 3-day work weeks, paid holidays, benefits, and retirement. Apply at joinopd.net. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Take a moment hearing about Woods' spectacular vacation. I want to offer some sympathy over here to Paulie, who's been having actually a really tough last 12 hours or so. Told me when you got in, your card got hacked again.
Yeah,
fraudulent charges. So you got to go through the entire.
No.
I got the bank text and phone call yesterday. Hey, we've detected some fraud. Was this charge you? Yeah. Was this charge you? No, actually. Was this charge you? Definitely not. And it's the same thing as last time. It's gas station charges for, not around here, $75 even at a time.
Where was it?
I have not figured out the location of this particular one. I mean, I got like a text overnight while I was sleeping from the bank. Like,
how's this keep happening?
I don't know. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. And I got a new card, I don't know, a couple of months ago. The same thing happened. It was gas stations again. And,
it's like $75 each time.
Yeah. And then, adds up to like $300. Now, look, not worried. Like, I'll get the money back. It'll get declined. I'll get a new card. It's fairly.
Ben, give him some cash today, Ben. Just give him some cash to get him through, for the love of God.
Well,
Yeah,
not
right.
only that, he's got to go through the entire hassle, but your tier 1 basketball team lost last night.
Oh, yeah, it was a
Sorry.
real
Yeah.
fun night. And then I got home and watched Mason Miller give up a 2-run tank right after I got home from basketball. I was like, oh, this is just a fantastic night.
And
now, quickly though, and Karen, and this is a good point, because it happened to me recently too. I think we're all guilty. We're all guilty of doing the slide in at the gas station. All of us, right? We all need to be tapping.
That's what they say. Yeah, and I've been trying to do that.
I'm a tapper. I actually use an app now at the gas stations. I don't have to do anything with a card at all.
That's pretty genius.
That's a good move.
Yeah, if I could ever figure out how to download an app, I would be right there with you and set it up. I would do that too. So I'm going to look into that. But
it's got to be like, there's got to be a skimmer or a card reader on something near my house that I must go to semi-frequently.
Now, Mike says the tap is what gets you hacked.
Okay.
See, nobody knows anything.
I thought it was the slide that
My
got
wife,
hacked.
Megan, said the same thing. She goes, I thought you're not supposed to tap and you're supposed to insert the chip. And I'm like, I thought it was the complete opposite. Like,
you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm writing checks at every gas station. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to write a check for $50 and you guys can suck it, man. I'm over it.
I remember growing up and going, full serve gas station with my grandma. And, they'd of course come out, pump the gas, and then they'd bring out that carbon copy thing for her credit card where they'd slide it and it would create the second copy and you'd have to sign it. And I mean, it's incredible how how things have advanced and how we pay for stuff over the last, 40 years.
I'm sorry, Paulie. Now you got to link everything to the new card. It is
that's by far the worst part.
But
that is the worst
such
part.
a nightmare.
This was all kind of leading into the setting of the menu. Paulie also struck out on our Big League Wednesday because our guest that we targeted hasn't gotten back to him yet, correct?
No, he didn't get back to me yesterday.
I know. We wanted to talk to Adam Jones. He's going into the Orioles Hall of Fame. Maybe he's too busy, so Paulie didn't get the text back from him. Maybe he
show's not over yet.
It's possible we could still get Adam Jones at some point. That was our target today for Big League Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll just talk a ton of Padres baseball. We'll get to our Padres wrap up with Sammy and Bob's highlights from last night's dramatic extra inning, 10-5. Lots to go through in this game yesterday. 10-5, 11-inning win. If you did not watch the game, you've come to the right place to wrap it up because there's plenty to talk about from the win last night, where the Padres stand in the playoffs. We'll also have all of our regular features like Don't Do This, Take on Woods, the Roundel Report, and we have more Padres Red Sox tickets to give away for Friday night's game and Cocktail Fest at Petco Park. So that's all coming up here in the next 4 hours of Ben and Woods. We'll go until 10 o'clock today. Then Woods will come home tomorrow, and we will see his smiling face in the studio next to us on Friday morning before the week is over. Looking forward to having you back, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be great to be back. I'm so happy I was able to take the gear, man, this trip, and it's actually worked out really well. Knock on wood. This will be the last day here in Kauai, and man, I'm ready to get home and see you boys, get back to the studio and start having some fun here in the second half.
All right, we will wrap it up, get to all the highlights of yesterday's win when we come back with Ben and Woods. Don't go anywhere. Getting started here on a Wednesday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEG 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
When you land tomorrow, you're going to be only 7 minutes away from 7 Mile Casino. You might want to schedule a little stop on the way home. I don't know how the kids are going to feel about that, but for you personally, it would be a very convenient time to drop in and play some cards, some California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, or Baccarat.
Well, convenient in the sense that I'd be close. Inconvenient that I have 2 underage children
True.
and a wife with me that probably just wants to get home. That being said, I probably won't do it, but I could do it. It would be very, very simple to do. Like it always is simple to go to 7 Mile Casino. Got great food, got great drinks, smoke-free environment, a slot machine-free environment as well. So you're not going to walk in and hear those slot machines ringing, making you insane, clinically insane after a while. So check it out for yourself, guys. The proximity is really what we enjoy the most, but there's a lot to love about 7 Mile Casino. Again, just 7 minutes from downtown, Benny.
It's awesome. Patio's great. And again, I see you said the proximity. You don't have to drive into the East County. It's going to be hot next couple of days. Stay cool on the coast at 7 Mile Casino, west side of the Bay Boulevard, west side of the freeway. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres made a move before yesterday's game, but it wasn't what a lot of people thought it was. Welcome back. Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. JP Sears was sent down to Triple-A, and the immediate reaction, of course, of everyone is, yeah, he was terrible, so
that'll show him.
Send his butt down to the minors and teach him a lesson and get rid of him off the Major League roster. Mike Shildt explained that move was already in the cards. JP Sears could have thrown a no-hitter, and he probably would have been sent down to AAA after the game anyway, because they wanted an extra reliever, which they did. They called up Sean Reynolds, who's been throwing pretty well of late down at El Paso, and, of course, has been important earlier in the season in the Padres bullpen. And they had him in reserve last night. Had that game gone further than 11 innings, you would have needed Sean Reynolds to come in there and eat a couple of innings for you. So they were well prepared for that game last night, which allowed Mike Shildt to be quite aggressive with his bullpen. So JP Sears will be down for at least 15 games unless someone gets hurt, which means the rotation will likely include Michael King the next time through. Looks like maybe Sunday when the Padres play the Red Sox. Now that Nestor Cortez is pitching today, they won't need JP Sears for at least a couple of weeks. So that's why that move was made yesterday, not because he was ineffective against the Diamondbacks on Monday night.
Yeah, no question, man. And anytime you find a guy that has options, this time of the year especially, right? When the games mean a little bit more, you're gonna exercise those options. And JP had to know that coming over. I'm sure he did. He was made probably very aware of that before the game. Hey, man, this is the plan for you, and you've got options. We're going to use and exercise those options, and no harm, no foul. And you'll see JP Sears back when the time is right. But I don't know about you guys, man, but after Suarez, and we'll talk about the game in detail, but man, here we are, and forgot about David Morgan last night. I'm sitting there after Suarez got out of those jams. I go, who's pitching? Who are they going to call on? I go, oh, David Morgan, the guy with a 2 ERA, is going to come in and get the last few outs. And again, having a nice cushion there in extra innings was certainly needed.
He's like the forgotten reliever, I feel like,
Dude,
just because there's so much attention on the Fab Five, the five horsemen, whatever, the fist. There's so much attention given to them, and rightly so. They're all stars. They're all MLB. David Morgan has looked really good lately.
No doubt, man. He's pretty nasty. So for him to have him in reserve was great.
So that did end up playing a critical role in the game last night. We'll go all through it. Want to have plenty of time to break this one down. So let's check traffic, and then we'll come back with all the highlights or Padres wrap up coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Limonite Termite, the orange oil experts. Just a couple problems to mention here. One of them is this collision on the Genesee off-ramp, Sap on 5. It's over to the left shoulder. And collision on northbound 805 before Imperial. Looks like that has been moved over to the right shoulder. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
Left foot. This one driven high in the air, deep to left. Forget it. It is way out of here. 2-run home run for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. So the 2-out walk comes back to bite you, Darvish. It's 2-0 Arizona here in the first inning. 1-0 to Bogarts. Swinging a drive into left. McCarthy going back at the warning track at the wall, and it's gone. Solo home run, Xander Bogarts, his 8th of the season. Swinging a line drive into left center, a base hit. Laureano scores easily. Cronenworth around first base on his way to second. Throw there, not in time. A stand-up RBI double for Jake Cronenworth. And just like that, it's 2-2.
2-2 pitch inside, gets past Diaz all the way to the backstop, and Perdomo is going to score. Second wild pitch of the inning for you, Darvish. And the Diamondbacks now have a 3-2 lead.
Swinging a drive into right. This will touch down a base hit. Rolling to the fence. 1 run is in. Merrill racing for third. He gets the windmill. Here comes Merrill. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Laureano up to third. He slides in there safely. A 2-run extra base hit for Ramon Laureano. And the Padres jump in front 5-3 here in the 7th inning. A double for Laureano. Swinging a high fly ball left field. Looking up is Laureano. This one is gone. A 2-run home run for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., his 2nd of the night. And the Diamondbacks have tied it here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's 5-5. 1-1. Swinging a broken back rounder to third. Picked up by Iglesias. Steps on third. Throws to first. And in time. What a double play. Jose Iglesias. And Robert Suarez out of the inning. Iglesias picked it up, stepped on third for 1, and a throw to first base for 2. 0-1, little looper, left side. It's falling, it's fair. Tatis around third base. He's racing for home. The throw by Barossa, not in time. Arise up to second, an RBI base hit for Luis Arise. And the Padres jump in front 6-5 here in the 11th. Swing line drive into right center, a base hit. Carroll over to get it. Machado racing around third. He'll score easily. Ramon Laureano strikes again. The Padres have scored 3 runs here in the top half of the 11th inning. They lead 8-5. First pitch. Line drive into right, a base hit. Cronenworth being waved around. Carroll comes up, throwing, throw home, not in time. Cronenworth slides in safely. It's a 5-run top half of the 11th inning. Now it's Freddie Vermeer, an RBI single, and the Padres in front 10-5. Morgan fires. Swinging a high fly ball into right center, chasing back Tatis. Towards the warning track, he reaches up, he makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Padres win it in 11, 10-5 the final. They score 5 runs in the top half of the 11th inning. David Morgan shuts the door. He retires. Each batter he faces in the bottom half. And the Padres even up this 3-game series at a game apiece.
Nice job by Sammy Levitt continuing to fill in this series. Got one more game tonight, but some good calls there as the Padres pull out a 10-5 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks in 11 innings. So much to get to, Woods. I think let's just start in chronological
It was
order.
10-5. What happened? Everyone was freaking out last night.
Yeah, it was an easy win. It was a simple win. You Darvish. Yeah, not certainly as good as he was the last start. Honestly, he had the one bad pitch to Gurriel in the bottom of the first after a walk, a 2-run home run that hurt him. Gave up the other one on kind of a little flip double and 2 wild pitches, and that was the 3 runs he allowed, 3 hits in 4 innings. But Mike Schilt really didn't want to press him too much and ended up going aggressively with the bullpen after the first 4 innings, but not a great start, certainly for you Darvish. I would say that the Diamondbacks starter, Ryan Nelson, was more effective, obviously pitching into the 6th inning. He gave up 2 runs, but struck out 8, and as he has in the past, did give the Padres hitters some problems. The guy is tough on the Padres, just like Brandon Pfaadt is also tough on the Padres.
Well, and you mentioned it yesterday, Benny, the Chase Field kind of house of horrors. Don't know what it is about the Padres at Chase Field. Really ready for them to get the hell out of there. This will be the last time we are in Arizona this season, correct? We'll see them again. Yeah. So last game at Chase Field, we will kiss this thing goodbye until next season, thank goodness. But honestly, man, I think, from Jump Street when the game started, the book on Ryan Nelson is he's going to throw about 60% fastballs. And I mean, he throws hard. I mean, he was 95, 96, 97, right down the middle, and he was challenging the guys early. And, coming right into a game, looking fastball, hunting fastball, not being able to hit fastball, I was like, oh, great. It's going to be one of those nights. But we're able to answer back immediately after you gave up those runs. I thought that answer back was massive.
The Xander swing, maybe best swing of the year we've seen from Xander Bogaerts.
Been the best home run I've ever seen from Xander Bogaerts in a Padres uniform.
I mean, yes, dude. Yes, he absolutely tattooed that ball. Tattooed it.
It's nice to know that it's in there, but I mean, that was an aggressive swing, hunting fastball, pulling it in the air. I think I saw it was either letters to AJ or Clark who said that was the hardest ball in the air Xander has hit all season long. An absolute no doubter of a home run, as you said. Nice little bounce back, answer back by the Padres offense after the Gurriel home run. And then Mike Schilt went aggressively to his bullpen after the 4 innings from Darvish, knowing he had all of his horsemen, however many there are now, 5, 6, ready to go. He decided, hey, we may be down 3-2, but I don't mind that equation. If it's our bullpen against their bullpen, and we've got 5 innings of our bullpen against, 4 or 5 innings of their bullpen, I like our chances in a game like that. That's the advantage that you have now when you're Mike Schilt and have those guys rested and ready. And I'd imagine that's a formula we'll probably see, if the Padres make it to October. If you got a guy gives you 4 innings, keeps you in it, you're tied, you're down 1, you roll the dice and take your chances that you can win a game like that when it's bullpen against bullpen, no matter who you're facing.
Yeah, no question. And those are the games too that, when you go aggressively to that part of your bullpen, that signals to your team, we want to win this game. Like, we are going after this game, and you have to, when you go to the big dogs, you're chasing a win. And those are the ones that are the most important to get. They just are.
I'd imagine that Torey Lovullo was probably regretting his decision with 2 outs after Ryan Nelson had thrown 100 pitches, but had just struck out the last 2 batters he faced. He decided, all right, let's get him out of there. We only need to get 1 more out this inning in the top of the 6th. We should be good. And he brings in Kyle Nelson, who cannot find the plate. I mean, just
gnarly.
15 pitches, 12 balls, walked the bases loaded with 2 outs. And, of course, then, Torey Lovello goes back to his bullpen to bring in Andrew Hoffman, who had pitched the day before to face Fernando Tatis Jr. And while Fernando Tatis Jr. went 0 for 6 in that game, and you could say, hey, he kind of had a bad game. Huge at-bat there, not chasing and drawing the walk against Hoffman to tie the score at 3 there in the top of the 6th inning. Padres did leave the bases loaded, but they got the one they needed. It turned out every run was absolutely critical in that game, so that was a big at-bat by Tatis in an otherwise somewhat forgettable game. He also did score the go-ahead run as the free runner in the 11th. It's amazing how no matter how poor sometimes the box score may look, he somehow impacts the game, and that's what Mike Schilt always says about Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, I saw a lot of discourse about Fernando, and look, his numbers are still pretty good. I mean, I think his OPS did dip below 800 last night, to be expected after an 0 for 6 night, but had the very, very clutch walk. And I don't know that anybody else on the team gets the jump that he gets off of second or is able to score that run on a ball hit to left field other than Fernando. And he did there in extra innings. So he impacts you he impacts the game with his glove, with his arm, with his legs, and with his eye last night in his case. But so, yeah, man, it's a total team effort to win a game like that. Obviously, you have to praise the addition of Ramon Laureano, who's been a revelation since he got here. Had 3 knocks last night. 3 hits last night. Drove in 3 runs last night as well. But really,
3 batted balls put in play.
3 batted balls put in play. The guy yesterday wrote us a letter, if you missed it, said he does not like when we use jargon. So we need to stick to the real, home plate, the pitcher's mound, hit, walk, things like that. So 3 RBI last night for Ramon Laureano after 3 base hits, extra base hits, I might add. He was fantastic. He's been fantastic since he got here. Has impacted this team immensely already. And let's give a lot of credit to Jake Cronenworth for some really, really nice ABs last night as well. Good defensive plays. Jose Iglesias moving a guy over. There's all kinds of stuff that went down last night. Everybody gets some credit.
Yeah, Ramon Laureano just puts together good at-bats. He can use the whole field. He drives the ball. I just love what we've seen so far in the last 4 games. He's got 5, 6,
3
8 hits.
Triples.
Yeah, extra base hits all over the place. A couple of triples, a double, a home run, big hits in clutch situations. He's been so far the best addition at the trade deadline, and it's really not even that close. He's been by far the most impactful player that the Padres picked up at the deadline. And
you get, of course, after a start like that, what do you think you see? Well, we got to move him up in the order. And hey, listen, I think the lineup discourse is going to be a really, and I say fun exercise, completely tongue in cheek. It wasn't fun yesterday watching everyone pick apart the lineup. I guess I didn't really understand it either. That being said, we all asked for a deeper bench, and I think a bench with Ryan O'Hearn and Gavin Sheets on it is certainly a deeper bench to be sure. But that said, yeah, I acquiring an all-star to have him only have 11 at bats at this point, I think is something that I want to ask Schilte about tomorrow, and I'm sure he's got an answer for us. And I was literally I was at dinner, I had the game on there, but I was getting text messages about the lineup and how it was constructed, and my response was, look, at the end of the day, I just try to tell myself they know more than I do, and there's a reason for it. I think on the surface, sure, it makes for a semi-interesting conversation, but at that point yesterday, it would have been. I even saw the Manny is selfish for wanting to DH. He should have just taken the whole day off to get Ryan O'Hearn in, and I just kept responding with, if our best hitter can hit, shouldn't we let him hit every time, right? Like if our best hitter is available to hit, shouldn't he hit? I don't want to sit my best hitter just to get Ryan O'Hearn or Gavin Sheets more ABs. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I certainly was, when I saw the lineup, I was, puzzled as to why Ryan O'Hearn wasn't in there for a second straight day. And I haven't heard any explanation if he is hurt or under the weather or something, because we didn't see him pinch hit in the game as well. But the the discourse, as you said, about how, mismanaging the lineup, I would hope everyone would say, yeah, it was a great lineup yesterday. They got 14 hits and 9 walks, 23 base runners. Iglesias, who was in there for defense, got on base 3 times with a hit and 2 walks. Machado, who was DHing, 3 hits, 2 runs scored, a walk.
And a walk.
I mean, everyone contributed in that lineup. I mean, Mike Schilt feel very good about the lineup he put on the field yesterday, even though it didn't include Ryan O'Hearn. So,
and even though
it's not necessary, you have to take the results into account. And they also got great defense from Jose Iglesias, which was pivotal in the bottom of the 10th inning when they needed that double play to help Robert Suarez get out of that inning and keep the game going to the 11th so they could win it.
And listen, I'm not saying that anybody's opinion is wrong, but I'm looking at the lineup yesterday when it came out too, and I'm going, well, crap, dude, where's Ryan O'Hearn? And when you add pieces like that, somebody's going to have to sit. Somebody that's actually playing well-ish, and they're going to have to sit. It's just going to be the nature of the beast. So again, I tweeted last night. Why didn't people were like, why didn't Manny just take the whole day off? He's selfish. I'm like, being the team's leader and best hitter and able to hit well and perform, I don't know what we're talking about. I really don't. This isn't just in defense of Manny. This is just kind of like, let's think this through. Like, if your best hitter can go, he's in there.
Yeah.
100% of the time. Shohei Ohtani, can you swing it? Yeah, I can swing it. All right, you're in. You're in. You're gonna swing it.
The Yankees have to make the tough decision now who to sit because they need Aaron Judge in the lineup, but he can't play the field. So yesterday it was Giancarlo Stanton who could not play. Is Aaron Judge being selfish by being in the lineup and knocking someone else out that can't play because he can't play the field for a day or a week or however long it's going to be? Of course not. And that's the same thing with Manny Machado. You made these moves so you could get Manny and Xander and Jake and Luis Arraez more days off the rest of the season so they could be fresher when you get to October. This is the entire reason, or at least a large reason, why you made some of these moves.
Well, and again, these are the things that we don't know, right? Does Brian O'Hearn have diarrhea yesterday? Did Brian O'Hearn
Ryan?
I said Ryan O'Hearn.
I heard Brian.
No, I didn't say Brian. I said Ryan. Did Ryan? I like stumbled my words, but it's Ryan O'Hearn. Did he have diarrhea? Did he tweak his calf? Right? These are all the things that we have no idea. So Alex says no days off when we're chasing the Dodgers. Come on. But Manny DH, that's not a day off. Right? Like he was the designated hitter. He's played in every single game.
That's also
this year.
incredibly short-sighted. The Dodgers will be giving their guys days off when they're trying to hold off the Padres because that's smart baseball and managing. If you want to play everybody every day and never give them a day off, you're going to burn them all out, and none of them are going to be good come September and October. You need to use your depth. The Padres now have good depth. Yes. There was no problem with Jose Iglesias in that lineup yesterday. Did it matchup wise make the most sense? I mean, no, that's why he batted 8th. But I do think that we're missing just a little bit of the equation, but it worked out perfectly for the San Diego Padres.
Yep.
Let's talk about the extra innings. And of course, Mason Miller, I'm sure feeling like, new team. And this is how I make my first or second impression with the new club. Tough way to do it, but I don't think we're going to see a ton of that going forward. We'll talk about that coming up. Hour number 2 of Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Still talking about last night's 10-5 Padres win over the Diamondbacks in 11 innings. Let me ask you guys, how sinking of a feeling was it when Lourdes Gurriel hit that 2-run home run off Mason Miller in the 8th inning?
Awful.
Man, you want to talk about timing. We had finished up dinner, listening to the game on the drive to the grocery store. And I walked into the grocery store to get some creamer for my coffee. And I didn't time it out right. I had to buy one more little bottle of creamer for the next 2 days.
For the last day of the trip, essentially?
Well, yeah, and I'll have a cup of coffee tomorrow morning before we leave. So 2 cups of coffee. Walk in, up 5-3. I walk out, and it's tied. It's tied 5-5. Now, and then quickly pulled it up and watched it, and I went, oh, okay. Watched the AB, watched the umpire completely botch, a couple of calls there. Listen, man, that's going to happen. It'll all be fixed with ABS at this point. But as impressed as I am with Mason Miller, I was more impressed with what Lourdes Gurriel Jr. was able to do on 104 miles an hour up in the zone, the way that he turned on it, the way that he hit it out, being objective in that. I'm trying to be objective. Now, we won the game, so I can be more objective today. One of the more impressive feats I've seen on the baseball field.
Yeah.
It was the fastest pitch ever homered on. I mean, that's impressive.
Ever.
I mean, yeah, they've only tracked it since 2008, but no one has hit a home run ever on a pitch that fast. So,
tip your cap.
Don't get the idea that, is this what it's going to be like watching Mason Miller roller coaster ride, big home runs? Yeah, he'll get some strikeouts, but he's going to be giving up. No, he's not. That was as out of the ordinary as you can possibly see. Literally the only time in baseball history that has ever happened. And give credit to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. for turning around on that pitch. You're not going to see that, on a weekly basis from Mason Miller. He's going to be incredibly good.
We all hate saying, it's tired. Just, you tip your cap. We hate it when Schulte says it after the game, but that's one where I think it's appropriate. Like, he didn't close his eyes and run into one and get lucky. I mean, he turned on 104 and absolutely
Miller said, I missed location a bit there. It was kind of right where he had seen that previous pitch. So, I got to be better, and that's fine. I'm still not going to worry even a little bit about Mason Miller. He's going to be a tremendous addition to the bullpen. The only problem is, and I will acknowledge some of the things that I saw on social media, when you give up, your best franchise prospect for a reliever, you are going to get someone, no matter how good that reliever is, there will be some ups and downs. The best relievers in baseball, because there's no margin for error when they come in, are going to have days where they cost you games because they threw bad pitches. Even Mason Miller is going to do it. And when it happens, you feel even worse that you gave up so much for someone like that. And still, there's nothing that's going to prevent them from, they're not always going to get the job done. That's just a reality of being a reliever. It's a long game, and in the long run, Mason Miller will get the job done much, much, much more often than he gives up a home run like that, but it will happen once in a while.
Telling me we're going to have 4 years of this discourse with Mason Miller here, and every time he does something wrong, I got to worry about what Leo Dallas DeVries did down in A-ball every time.
Yeah,
because that's what it was last night.
Pretty much.
Super fun. Super, super duper fun. I'll take Mason Miller all the way, every time. Looking forward to, again, I don't know, it's a new role for him as well, pitching out of the 8th. And somebody said in the chat, well, he's got an ERA near 4. Yeah, but he was pitching in the PCL, literally in the PCL. So I'm not too worried about him either. But yeah, I'm sure he's ready to get right back on that slab today.
Glad that Robert Suarez is still part of this team, though. He came up huge in the 9th and 10th innings to get this game all the way to the bottom of the 11th or the top of the 11th by getting that double play and getting some help there from Jose Iglesias at third. We talked about that earlier. His defense coming up huge there and getting it to extra innings. And then, of course, the top of the 11th starts out with Fernando Tatis Jr. on second base and Luis Ariz at the plate, and he hits just a little. What was the exit velocity on that one?
60.
Just an absolute little bloop toward the line.
Wedge.
And I'm watching
I'm
watching the game. I had just gotten home and I was watching the game with my son, and we were both like, No, don't go. Yep, good job, Fernando. Nice job reading that correctly. I thought he was going to get thrown out there. It was such a shallow ball, but somehow Fernando Tatis Jr. just has the knack of reading that pretty well almost every single time. And it would have taken an absolute perfect throw to get him, and it was not a perfect throw. Got away at the home plate and ended up being the impetus for the 5-run inning that followed.
I mean, again, he sometimes makes you pull your hair out at times, right? But comes through with a huge knock. And again, we can have the argument, the conversation. Base hit, not
single.
Knock. The single. You can have the argument over and over where he should hit, where he should be, but I don't know, man. I'm a fan of the way that he plays baseball. Thought he played a really nice first base last night as well, and picks us up. High energy guy, obviously beloved in there. Just it's hard for me to come on here and go nuts about Arise and Tatis when one drove in the winning run and one scored the winning run. Really, the only two people that could have done that last night. Nobody's hitting that pitch where he hit it, and no one's scoring from second like him.
Now, you don't know at the time the Padres are going to go on and score 5 runs. So when they get the one, you're thinking, okay, now they have to get the second one because obviously Arizona's going to get the free runner as well. Got to get that run in. And Jackson Merrill, I thought, an incredibly good veteran-looking at-bat. Remember, this is still just a 22-year-old kid who goes up there with a runner at third, and he knows what he needs to do. He needs to hit a fly ball deep enough to get Arise home and give you that extra run, that cushion that you absolutely need going into the bottom of the 11th. And fouled off some pitches, hit some foul balls right down the line where you feel like, oh, that was the one. It was so close. Just kept grinding and battling until he got a pitch he could drive to the center of the field, a nice, 335, 40-foot fly ball, whatever it was, plenty deep enough to score Luis Arise. I loved that at bat from Jackson Merrill. And that's why I think more than anything else, that's why the Padres already locked him up to a long-term deal. Kid's a baseball player, knows what to do, especially, what the game is telling him to do, and did a great job there in the 11th inning.
Yeah. Phenomenal ABs there towards the end of the game. And sure, man, you look at this thing and you say, well, I mean, we scored 11 runs last night. That's pretty good. And yeah, I get it, man. 5 of them came in the 11th inning. So better late than never for these boys, but holy smokes, dude. Like, that was the one that felt a little bit playoffy. It really, really did. It was like, I know the Diamondbacks aren't really a threat. They're not really in it. But holy cow, we gotta win this game. And I had no confidence when we got to extra innings, Ben, and we laid down that bunt to move them over. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we playing for 1 run on the road? I really don't like it. We've talked about it a lot this season. When you're on the road and you've got the Manfred rule, I really think you have to play for more than 1 run. Don't you guys agree? We've talked about this. Didn't work, and then I'm just panicked. I am just absolutely panicked. Suarez got to come back out there and made the plays that he needed, made the pitches he needed to make, and Iglesias with a huge play to bail us out, able to go on and score a bunch of runs and win the game. Holy cow.
I did not hear Mike Schilt really address the Iglesias bunt, whether it was something that was called for or whether it was something that Iglesias did on his own. You're at the bottom.
Didn't you think that was the time to put in a O'Hearn or a Sheets, perhaps?
I would think, to go for I agree with you. I think you always want to play for the multiple runs. Now, if you get one there and then the Diamondbacks get one in the bottom of the 10th, then you have the heart of your lineup coming up in the 11th, and you feel like maybe you have a better chance in the 11th and the 10th. But I just think it's such a risk to play that game. I think you have to try to go for multiple runs. So, yeah, I might have gone more with a bench option, a power bat, to see if we could, get multiple runs there in the top of the 10th inning. Didn't work out. Fortunately, the Padres did get that second chance. And, at the bottom of the order in the 11th inning also showed you with Laureano and Jake now, batting 7th or 8th most days. And Fermin has had a lot of good at-bats as well. I know he's not really here for his offense. He's an upgrade over Diaz and certainly what Maldonado was, but I like his at-bats a lot. They look like he looks like a hitter up there. He's not going to hit 30 homers, but he definitely looks like he knows what he's doing when he steps up to the plate.
It's one of those things, too. I thought about it last night. If you didn't want to lose your DH, Benny, you absolutely could have pinch hit O'Hearn for Iglesias, right? And then you could have slid, you put O'Hearn to first, Arise at second, and then slide Crony over to third in a pinch if you had to. I have no worries that he could field that position for an inning.
Would he have made that double play that Iglesias did though in the bottom of the 10th? I don't know.
Exactly.
Probably not.
Exactly.
That was insane.
I mean, that's the stuff, man. That is crazy. Zach says you go for one because we have a great bullpen. Yeah, I mean that's the logic there in that. But again, I think on the road, I got to have I got to have 2 runs. I have to have 2 runs there. And we didn't even get the one. So luckily it all worked out. Pitches were made, plays were made, and Padres end up scoring a bunch of runs. But man, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Zach is saying. You've got Robert Suarez out there, and you feel decent about his chances of stranding a runner out at second base because you have swing and miss capability and to not let the runners move over. At the same time, he had already faced a couple of batters. So are you going to get him at his absolute peak in that second inning of work? Yep. That would have worried me a little bit. I mean, these are all the factors that I'm sure Mike Schilt weighs when he's making all of these decisions. And none of them are made haphazardly or lightly. In fact, they put probably more thought than you can even imagine that they're putting into with the decisions that they make. That's one thing that I have definitely come to appreciate and accept, that they're actually thinking about these things further in advance and in much more detail than even, us as fans who obsess over it are doing. I promise you that they have cared and taken a lot of thought about all of these decisions.
Well, and again, you could have put Manny at third. You would have lost the DH, but then you have guys off the bench that could hit in the pitcher spot. So there's options there. It was a strategy that didn't work out in the 10th, and it certainly worked out in the 11th. And all those guys contributed last night in their own way, maybe other than Elias Diaz, who did not have a great game and was pinch hit for in the fifth inning, and Fermin ends up getting a whole game's worth of at bats. So it was pretty great.
All right, we will have more on this game, and we'll talk certainly more about the series finale today. Tonight at 6:40 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, trying to get a road series win with Nestor Cortez on the mound a little bit later. But we got Don't Do This coming up in our next segment.
Time to put the boss on blast.
The boss on blast.
Not Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, not that one. Okay, that's coming up next. After a quick check of traffic, don't go away. Ben and Woods continuing here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Definitely a Don't Do This. In fact, they sponsor Don't Do This, is leaving your family in the lurch if you should happen to pass away unexpectedly without a trust or a will. It's such an easy process. If there's an afterlife, you'll be kicking yourself that you didn't do this when you could have. And it's so easy and affordable to have your estate documents ready for you thanks to trustandwill.com, Woods.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where it feels like it's kind of, until you get it done, it's looming over you. If you have a family, that's something that you need to do. You cannot pass away and not have a trust or a will. And I recommend getting that trust, Ben. Keep your family out of a very expensive, lengthy probate court. Certainly, it is something you have to do. So you might as well just get it done and do it easily with Trust and Will. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. Going to give you 20% off of the entire package and ship you your documents for free.
It's no more than a simple online, question and answer session. Takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Honestly, that's all it is. The documents are just as good as if you went to a lawyer's office and spent thousands of dollars on a lawyer to do it for you. So why spend that money when you can do it affordably and for 20% off with the code FAN by going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
As I just mentioned, Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Yeah, estate planning with Trust and Will is probably better than a long-term plan of stealing game-worn merchandise from your employer. But that's what a former Miami Heat security officer is facing after he was charged with transporting and transferring stolen goods in interstate commerce. 62-year-old Marcos Thomas Perez was charged yesterday after an investigation by the FBI and the Southern District of Florida. Apparently, he was, after games, was taking jerseys for years. About 300 stolen game-worn jerseys were seized from his home, and he had already sold about $2 million worth of these in various different times, including like a Miami Heat LeBron James that he wore during the NBA Finals that he sold for approximately $100,000 that later sold at auction at Sotheby's for $3.7 million. He was a retired 25-year veteran of the Miami Police Department, worked for the Heat from 2016 to 2021, and then as an NBA security employee from 2022 to 2025 on game day security detail at the Heat Arena, the Kaseya Center.
That's actually a staggering. Those are staggering numbers there, Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, and again, you got to know that it's going to get back. Like, there's no way you think that you're in the clear here.
So I'm sure that the Heat had noticed that these things were missing, and I wonder if perhaps because he was the security officer and like a fairly high-ranking one, he was the one maybe in charge of trying to crack the case and just, I can't figure this one out, guys. I mean, they seem to avoid the security footage every time. We've been scouring it over. We just have no idea what is happening to these game-worn jerseys that keep disappearing from the offices. I don't know what to say. I've got my best man on it. We still can't figure out what's going on here.
I always like those police dramas where like the police captain is in on it, right? You're like, son of a bitch, from the inside. You did it from the inside. Like, I love that. It always kills me every time. It's a great movie with Michael Douglas called The Sentinel. You ever see The Sentinel?
No.
Oh, Benjamin. It's like inside the Secret Service. There's a mole.
Ooh, I like that.
And you will absolutely love that movie, The Sentinel. Really, really good movie. But I like and I think I might have just given it away for you, so I'm sorry about that.
No.
But yeah,
it's the mole.
The mole inside always gets me. We have a mole inside the Odyssey building. His name is Adam Klug. But mostly because he just resembles a mole sometimes. But he got us again last night. You guys see this? I sent it to our group thread. You saw it, but it didn't come up for you guys, right? When you clicked on it,
I think it had been deleted, and I think if you send a link, if you send us a link, and then 30 seconds later it gets deleted, and we haven't looked at it yet, it won't attach the link. So you were like, you sent that over, and I'm like, what am I missing here? Like, what are you talking about?
So I'd finished up at the grocery store, and we decided to walk down to Hanalei Bay to look at another beautiful, beautiful sunset. They're just stunning. And all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up, and I'm like, I got the game on, I'm listening to it, it's in my pocket. I'm trying to be in the moment with my wife, because as much as I extolled her virtues for letting me watch baseball games at dinner, I was getting the side eye yesterday when I was trying to do it. And Adam tweeted from the 97.3 The Fan account. Ready for this? I have the screenshot. Manny Machado turns an incredible double play to end the 10th and send us to the 11th. And
that wasn't Manny.
If you had been watching the game, you know that Manny was the DH last night, and that Jose Iglesias was actually the third baseman that did that.
So. Now, it was a Manny-esque play.
It was Manny-esque.
Maybe that's a compliment.
Swinging a broken back rounder to third, picked up by Iglesias. Picked up by Iglesias.
And I wrote him, I go, Adam, and he goes, what? I don't see anything. The tweet was deleted with his dumb little sunglasses emoji smiling face, which makes me, it's the emoji that he sends that makes me the most insane. And I said, I'm going to kill you with laughing faces. And he said, of course you are. So, yeah, Manny Machado has slayed the dragon again, you SOB. And, of course,
the Padres have slayed the dragon again.
So my phone's blowing up. And our buddy Travis texts me. He goes, dude, who's doing this? I go, you know who's doing it. You know who's – don't ask me these questions. You know damn well who it is. And
picked up by Iglesias.
It just murders me.
I will say,
like, Adam,
I was watching the end of the game with my son, and I don't know if he had been watching earlier, but as soon as the play happened, he goes, "Oh, Manny, wow!" And I go, "It's not Manny. That's Jose Iglesias." And he goes, "Oh, wow! Oh, nice play by Jose Iglesias." It was a Manny-like play that you expect him to make.
It happened so fast, but I swear to God, in real time, it was like for me, it was like time slowed down, because when he fielded the ball and started to go back to third base, in my head, now that I couldn't get the brain to tell the mouth to tell the words, I could get the words out. In my brain, I go, uh-oh, that's not Manny. Like, thinking this is not going to end up well. Like, that throw is getting sailed over somebody's head or whatever. It was not going to work out. I was happy to be proven wrong. That was an unbelievable double play.
On both ends, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
By Arise as well. The crazy part, too, is that he did the falling backwards throw, right? Yeah. Like Manny makes that throw, in roller skates, sitting on his butt if he wants to. But Jose Iglesias, you're like, that's not going to get there. It's too much time. Paulie, it looked like he ran 100 yards to the bag. It really did. I was like, oh, my God.
Like, you remember the triple play last year to clinch the playoff berth at Dodger Stadium? Like, that one was smooth. Like, that one, Manny just needed, like, half a step, one step back to hit the bag and then move it over to second. This one, like, he had to practically, like, turn and run, but then he's, like, falling down. And I was like, oh, my God.
And I'll tell you, man, having Jose Iglesias, dude, you have him. He can fill in anywhere with the glove, and you don't feel like you're missing much at all. I mean, you don't feel like you're missing much at all. He's had some brilliant defensive games this year for us. So what a pickup, and what a play. Completely bailed us out, completely bailed Suarez out. It was fantastic. But Adam, I need you to clean it up. Please.
Picked up by Iglesias.
Sammy was on top of it.
Of course he was.
Yeah, Sammy was watching the game.
All right, finally, a little do this here on a Wednesday morning.
DD mega doo-doo.
And I think Kawhi Leonard's been spending some time here in San Diego again, Jam Center, getting his workouts in the offseason as he often does. But just recently, the Los Angeles Clippers star made a trip to Africa and surprised a group of young basketball players with a brand new outdoor basketball court he personally designed himself, donated, and had built in Rwanda. For obviously people who don't have the opportunity, but it was a 4-day festival that he was taking part of. It was organized by Masai Ujiri, who is the Raptors president as well, and obviously knows Kawhi from his time in Toronto when they won the title together there. Certainly a nice trip and a nice thing that Kawhi Leonard has done, and he's done a lot of things quietly for charity over the years as well. Seems like Kawhi, Aztec for Life is one of the good ones, and just wanted to point out another good thing that Kawhi Leonard doing here in the offseason.
Love it, man. I love the I love the giving back, my friend. It was really excellent story.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
And speaking of giving, before we go to the break, let's do some giving here on Ben and Woods as well, because we have another pair of tickets to give away right now to the Padres Red Sox game on Friday night. If you want to start dialing, you can. 833-288-0973. We're going to take the sixth caller right now. 2 tickets. Padres Red Sox on Friday. It is Cocktail Fest. Shake up your night from the time the gates open to the first pitch at 6:40. Enjoy $5 drink specials and live music in Gallagher Square. And then stick around to watch the Padres take on the red-hot Boston Red Sox coming to town. They got a 7-game winning streak. Could be 8 if they win in their last game before that series tonight. But you can be there by calling now, 833-288-0973. Sixth caller. Give it some patience. Paulie will get you during the break here, but good luck from 97.3 The Fan. And we'll come back, talk about some of those other results, including a Red Sox win and more, other NL West and National League wildcard rivals. We can talk about that as well coming up on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, let me tell you about my beloved friends over at QC Kinetics. And, man, I got to tell you, being able to do this trip, walking around, doing some of the hikes that we've done, just feeling good, really feeling good. Now, I did jam my wrist last week playing baseball, and, it's still a little bit tender, and it does give me a nice sense of peace knowing that I can go in next week, sit down with my friends over at QC Kinetics, have them take a look at it, and I'm probably going to end up getting another treatment on it because I know it works. They've done it for me before, and they can do it for me again. And if you woke up this morning, your knees, your back are screaming at you, look, it's probably not going to go away. And if you're unable to do things that you love to do, like hike or bike or play baseball, play golf, you need to call QC Kinetics today. You'll have a free consultation with the medical pros over there. There are thousands of patients like myself who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They wish they would have known that it existed. A lot of athletes do this stuff. They turn their lives around with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. You can bring x-rays in if you want. They'll take a look at them. No pressure chat, a thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate for their treatments. Worst case, you learn something new. The best case, you get your life back and you get back on the golf course, swinging the golf club, swinging the baseball bat. Grab the phone right now. Give them a call today. Locations in Hillcrest and in Torrey Hills. 619-614-PAIN is their number. 619-614-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics at 619-614-PAIN.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got a text during the break from a former Major League All-Star infielder. I won't say who it was, but...
Oh, it's a Big League Wednesday.
It is a Big League Wednesday. There you go. We got a Big League Wednesday guest chiming in here on the program. And one of the points that he made is how well Luis Arraez has been playing defensively of late at first base. And Mike Shildt actually made that point after the game last night as well. He said... I think Kevin Acee asked him in the post-game scrum. He said the defensive metrics are not kind to Luis Arraez, and that is true. At least the ones from Major League Baseball have him, I think, 20th out of 21st among qualified first basemen of outs above average, like -6. So you could say he's one of the worst defensive first basemen in the league. But Mike Shildt pushed back on that, and he said, look at the numbers since June 1st. And he said, and also our internal numbers tell a pretty different story. And we see a guy who in the last 2 months especially has really upped his game defensively, and they believe he's turned into one of the 5 or 6, he thinks, better defensive first basemen in all the league. So kind of a different look and kind of makes me think a little bit differently about Luis Arraez, not necessarily being a defensive liability, which is what mostly he's been considered at first base since they moved him over there.
Yeah, you certainly love to see the improvement there, and he's made some really, really nice picks. And you look at a couple of plays throughout the course of the season where you're like, all right, that's an inexperienced first baseman. But it's defensive metrics aren't really great to Manny either. I will say I do feel like
Manny's like one of the worst third basemen in baseball according to some advanced metrics, and that's where I just like that's where it loses me a little bit. It's hard to wrap my head around it, I should say.
If you watch every night, and we do, maybe his range isn't what it once was. Had a couple of funky throwing errors this season. Obviously, I think, we used to say it about Tatis all the time when Hosmer was at first. Toddy would rack up a bunch of errors, and you're like, yeah, but with a semi-competent first baseman, you could probably cut that number in half, right? Like in half, especially. Toddy would skip one, and Hosmer would do some weird thing, and he'd go into foul territory and boot it, and you're like, oh man, that's anybody else picks that ball, and it's not an error. And I think with Manny too, I don't know that you cut it in half, but holy cow, like it all evens out at the end of the day. And I will say, man, I feel a lot more confident. Especially, obviously with Manny at third, I feel like that's who I want at third base in a huge game. That's where I want them hitting the ball every single time. And I feel a lot better with Luis at first, too.
Yeah, and, it's also a good reminder that teams have their own kind of metrics. And Ryan O'Hearn is considered an above-average first baseman. So I wonder, well, maybe Luis Arraez should be DHing and get Ryan O'Hearn starting out there. But, the Padres may have a slightly different view of things, and it's always good to remember that. And Arraez did make some nice plays. He had the Finished the double play by getting the kind of off throw and making the tag.
Yeah.
Scooped out one from Bogaerts that was low a little bit. One of those reactions after Bogaerts had the overthrow, as of course the underthrow next time. What infielder has not done that before? You know, throw one too far, the next one I'm definitely going to bounce this one because I don't want to throw it over his head.
That particular scoop, I think it was like, I want to say the 7th inning, maybe the 8th. I was driving home from my basketball game yesterday, and Scan and Sammy had them on the radio, and Scanlon pointed out, he goes, now look at that. You can't see it on the radio, but like as soon as Arise scooped that ball, he started smiling and laughing at Xander. So what did Xander do? That like scowl, that face, like, oh crap, I just spiked another one. Like that went away immediately, and he started laughing. And Scan just pointed out, he goes, it's not going to show up in a stat sheet anywhere. It's not on the back of a baseball card, but that stuff is intangible, and that stuff does matter. Like Luis Arise is just the ultimate vibes guy, whether it's in the dugouts or in the dugout, in the clubhouse, or even on the field. He can change guys' emotions like that.
Yeah, he got a little Xander got a little yippy there, and like a candy hop, and it just sailed on him. And yeah, man, those are tough. He got in his dome a little bit, but hey, no big deal, man. No harm, no foul. Luis picked him up the next play and got out of it. And yeah, man, I was impressed with what this team showed last night. Sure, man, they gave us all a heart attack. I mean, it's honestly like my mental health has been a lot better this year. I'm not letting this team really affect my mental health as I have in the past, and but last night was one where I was like, I can see myself being pissed off if we lose this game, which would have meant we were going to lose the series. And the heart was racing, and man, better late than never. They got it done. And holy cow, we turned the page to today. And that's what we're going to be focused on from here on out. But it was a much needed victory for at least my heart palpitations, Benjamin.
Well, first we're going to focus on the rest of the National League playoff contenders, how they fared last night, go through some of the other results. We'll do that right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. We still have a few problems here, guys. One of them is a collision on northbound 5 right before Main and Division. Looks like several vehicles involved. It's got the right lanes blocked. Up ahead before Hawthorne, 2-car collision in the center divide. And got this collision on northbound 805 right before Imperial. 2 cars involved there over to the right shoulder. Southbound 15 before Mira Mesa Boulevard, reports of a pickup truck that may have lost a tire. It's over to the right shoulder. Watch out for a tire that might be bouncing around in lanes. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why the recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, the Padres are still sitting there in the Dodgers' rear view mirror, not getting any closer, not getting any further away over the last few days as they've been matching results, including last night again when the Dodgers got a huge offensive performance from Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez in a 12-6 win over the Cardinals that kept them 3 games up in the division. The two of those guys combined to go 7 for 10 with 4 home runs, 5 runs scored, and 8 RBI. Hitting back-to-back in the order. It was just Muncy's second game since coming off the injured list, and the Dodgers have been looking, Woods, for an injection to their offense, which I had not realized, and you reposted a stat from the social media yesterday, how bad things had gotten offensively for the team that ultimately has scored more runs than any other in baseball this year.
Yeah, since late June, last in WRC+, last in K percentage, last in average, last in OBP, last in weighted on base average. Dodgers, last in hits, second to last in runs, second to last in OPS, and third to last in slug, which is nuts. And, there's still 3 games up, shows you how I don't even know what it shows you. I don't know. I guess it shows you how uneven maybe the Padres have played to not catch a team that was scuffling that bad. They have been able to grit out some wins, based on their starting pitching, I guess.
They have
moved,
LA, 5 or 6 games closer during that stretch. So they certainly have taken advantage of the Dodgers not playing as well. The question is, are the Dodgers going to turn it around, or are they ultimately too flawed to, win a World Series again or even hold on and win the division again? Can the Padres, with their deeper, more, complete lineup, make a push and get past them before the end of the season?
I mean, I was going to, you didn't Miles Michaelis absolutely dominate us last week?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I was going to say it was off of Miles Michaelis, so it doesn't count, but I'll make the point again. Miles Michaelis absolutely dominated us last week. Now, that was before we had added a bunch of pieces, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So, but yeah, again, maybe the standing ovation for Mookie worked. He got some hits last night. Dodgers look to be clicking on all cylinders, at least in that game, and hopefully the slide comes back again, because it would be fun to be able to catch these guys in the division.
To be fair, I believe the Padres did better against Sonny Gray than the Dodgers did, getting just one hit the other day. So if you're going to compare, you can, but the Dodgers remain 3 games up. And, part of catching a team not only involves playing well yourself, but you do need some help at some point. And I just don't want to see Max Muncy go on some sort of tear here, or Teoscar get hot, or Mookie to break out. He did have 3 hits last night.
Yep.
By the way, so a bunch of guys kind of got going. Maybe it's a one-off, or maybe it's a sign that the Dodgers are heating up, especially with the pitchers coming back that they have. Could get dangerous. Roki Sasaki also had some comments yesterday saying that he does intend to pitch again this season. Says he's pain-free and is working toward getting back in the rotation. I'm not sure how much I would trust him if I was the Dodgers at this point, to just insert him back in a pennant race, every 5th day, but we'll see what the plan is for Roki Sasaki. I'd almost forgotten about that guy after the last couple of months.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit stronger. They've got Bobby Miller, who's actually pitching. Bobby Miller's been terrible prospect for them, but they've got him working out of the bullpen now, and with stuff like he has, maybe that's going to be a fit for them down the stretch. So again, all those numbers that I just read off could be a bit of a mirage. It still is the LA Dodgers. They are the world champs right now, so you do need to defer to the fact that they still have a really, really good team and are going to be really tough. They're a really tough lineup.
Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds beat the Chicago Cubs for a second straight day, 5-1. Spencer Steer with a home run and 4 runs driven in, so the Reds still 3 games back, but it does mean that the Padres are closing in on the Cubs and the Mets, who lost to the Cleveland Guardians 3-2, have dropped 7 of their last 8. And in fact, Padres have caught the Mets. They have the same record. And because, of course, they swept the only series they played against the Mets, Padres have the tiebreaker. So technically, we're waking up this morning with the Padres holding not the 3rd, but the 2nd wild card spot in the National League, and just 2.5 games behind the Cubs for the 1st wild card spot in the National League. So even though you're not, putting more distance between you and the Reds, you're not closing any of the gap on the Dodgers, you are improving your standings and playoff chances with all of these wins and series victories that the Padres have had. It's just the other teams you haven't been thinking about, like the Mets and the Cubs, who you've been gaining ground on. Padres have picked up 5 games on the Mets in the last 10 days, 3 games on the Cubs in the last 10 days, as they've kind of closed in on the standings here. So yeah, it does make a difference when you're doing that. So that was the wild card race. Meanwhile, the Phillies continue to start playing really good baseball. They shut out the Orioles 5-0. Taijuan Walker, who's not even one of their top starters, had 6 shutout innings in that game. And the Brewers, no slowing down right now. They beat the Braves 7-2. That's their 5th straight win. And quietly, they're now 25 games above 500, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah, 69-44 on the season for the Milwaukee Brewers. The only team in baseball with a winning percentage over 600 at 611. They're the best team in baseball, and it's not really close at the moment. They're head and shoulders right now above everybody else.
I don't know, Paulie, if you have our preseason predictions in a handy spreadsheet near you, but God only knows where we all put the Brewers looking at that division. I have no idea how they continue to do this, other than they just play really, really, they pitch well. They play good defense. They get timely hitting. They are just terrifying. And again, Benny, like you said, I get the sense, right? If you asked me, hey, are they going to slow down? I think I would say yes. I don't know that they have the horses, but they sure feel like they have the horses right now.
They have not slowed down a bit over the last couple of months.
I'm looking at our predictions. Ben thought the Central would go Cubs finishing first, Brewers in second.
Oh, good.
Reds
okay.
in. You had the Reds in fourth place. You had the Pirates in third.
I did.
Oh,
Pirates in third. Wow, Paul Skeens. I had a lot of faith in Paul Skeens. I guess
Jared Jones too. Yeah, he's got hurt.
Woodsy, you had it. Reds, Cubs, Brewers, Pirates, Cardinals, and I picked Cubs, Reds, Brewers.
Yeah,
Cardinals, Pirates.
So the highest anybody had the Brewers was at second.
Yeah.
You know, the Cubs. You know, they're pretty up in arms right now based on some things that they didn't do at the deadline. Based on, it's not his fault, but Soroka getting injured after a couple of innings. He was their big acquisition, and it's really anybody's ball game there. But it looks like it's the Brewers' ball game right now, and everyone's just going to be chasing them.
Giants beat the Pirates 8-1. Giants just kind of hanging around 500. That's all they're doing right now. In the American League, the Yankees continue to scuffle as they lost to the Rangers again 2-0, which means that the Rangers are now within a half game of the Yankees to the final playoff spot in the American League. 8 innings of one-hit ball for Nathan Eovaldi. Rowdy Tellez came in. Devin Williams, who has really been struggling for them, walked the bases loaded and then gave up a 2-run single to Rowdy Tellez for the only 2 runs of the game as the Yankees lost their 5th in a row.
That's absolutely insane. Would it surprise anybody if they just banged Aaron Boone right now? Just said,
I know that's the talk. I heard
that's the sentiment.
From Steve, who's the former Mets GM, Steve Phillips. He was saying, "Are you crazy? They went to the World Series last year. Does that not buy a manager and a GM at least some faith to get through a one rough patch here in the season?" But yeah, Yankees fans are. I mean, I've heard speculation that they're going to let Jeter manage the rest of the season. A crazy talk from the New York Yankees fan base right now about what's going on, but they have really been struggling badly. They got Aaron Judge back, but it didn't help them yesterday.
It's the nature of the fan. I mean, we lost. We'd won. What was our winning streak before? Yes, I mean we'd won 7 of 8 or something, and you lose a game to the Diamondbacks. Schilt puts out a weird lineup, and the entire city collectively loses their mind, just loses their mind before the game yesterday. And then, when they tied it up, everyone lost their mind, and we win the game, and it's just one big exhale. So, if the Yankees don't start winning soon, though, that's going to be crazy. I mean, just a crazy fall off for them, too.
Meanwhile, the Red Sox played the Royals. Ryan Bergert made his debut for the Kansas City Royals. Pitched pretty well, 5 2/3 innings, just 2 hits, but gave up 2 runs, and that was turned out to be the loss because Garrett Crochet was going for the Red Sox, who went on to a 6-2 win for their 6th straight win. Chris Paddock faced his former team right away as the Tigers took on the Twins, and he lost to his former team 6-3. That's got a sting for the Tigers. They get their new pitcher, and he goes up against his old team and promptly loses to his old team that sold off all their pieces at the deadline. So kind of an ugly loss for the Tigers. And let's see, the A's had a huge night from Shea Langoliers, who went 5 for 6 with 3 home runs in a 16-7 win over the Nationals last night.
Can I just this stat blew my mind with MLB Network. Brian Wu of the Mariners, just mentioned them. He has gone over 6 or more innings in every single start, all 22 starts this year. That is the second longest such streak in the last 10 years.
Mariners are scary, no doubt about it. They won again last night as well over the White
6
Sox.
Guaranteed every single.
And Eugenio Suarez went deep for the first time back with his old team, the Mariners. We got 2 more hours to go. Don't go away. Woods has got something next for us here on The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. Aloha to everyone listening. Mahalo to Paulie and Ben for allowing me to come out here with my ohana and spend some time. Beautiful, beautiful vacation. We'll be heading back tomorrow. It's going to be our last night in town tonight. Ready to get home, see everybody. I'm going to be out tomorrow. We'll be back in studio Friday. I come bearing gifts for the fellas. No macadamia nuts, as I've been asked to keep those out of the studio. So it's going to be tough to find some more gifts for you guys, but I'm going to work on it today. We're going to go see a lighthouse today. That's our big plan.
A lighthouse?
Yeah, there's a lighthouse.
Like the one we have here at Point Loma. Cabrillo Lighthouse.
Yeah, so we're going to go check out a lighthouse and, just kind of do some shopping, have some lunch, keep it pretty low key and get packed up, get cleaned up. Get the whole house cleaned up and everything. And then I'm going to take my in-laws out to dinner tonight to thank them for a really, really amazing trip out here. This is their house that they let us stay in. And it is stunning. I mean, it is a stunning, stunning place. So excited to get back and see you fellas. But anyway, I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program, and my sweet little angel, Ben Higgins.
Hi.
Who I think I have ruined.
So I'm just curious because when I went to break, I said, Woods has something for us, but I didn't know what it was. I couldn't tease it because you wouldn't tell me what happened. But you asked me a question during our last break, and it was, did you get that email from Barrett? Now, I'd assume, like most businesses, industries, you've got like trade magazines, or in this case now websites, that cover your own business. If you run a hotel, there's probably like a trade magazine or a website. What's new in hotel management? Just
Welders Quarterly.
Yeah, the insiders, the comings and goings, people hired, fired. Buildings are sold. Yeah, construction. They've all got their trades. For radio, we have a website called Barrett Sports Media. A guy named Jason Barrett, who used to be a radio guy, and now he really kind of is the main person who keeps track of all the comings and goings and does features on different hosts around the country and has rumors about, contracts and radio stations changing formats and all kinds of things. So you got to keep tabs on what's going on around the country. And occasionally, your name pops up in the trades if something has happened at your station or with your show. And it's always kind of interesting to read about yourself. So we go into the break and Woods goes, "Oh, did you get that email from Barrett?" And I go, "No, did you get something?" And he goes, never mind. And I go, wait, you can't just do the old never mind. You've already said it. You've let the cat out of the bag. So what did you receive inquiry that I did not receive, Woods?
Yeah, got an email yesterday from a guy that works at Barrett. His name is John. He says, "Good afternoon. Appreciate you opening this and taking the time. I'm working on a submission piece to post to Barrett Media on Wednesday, August 20th, which is, of course, National Radio Day. I wanted to reach out to the brightest minds in the sports radio industry and see if you'd like to be included in the piece, either by name or anonymously. All I'll need from you, simple responses to the following 3 questions, and if you'd like your name to be included in the piece. Any questions? Please don't hesitate to reach out." I'll read that one part again. I wanted to reach out to the brightest minds in the sports radio industry to see if you'd like to be included. The brightest minds in the sports radio industry. And I wondered if you got it. And
you got a problem.
I did not. I did not receive any letter addressed to the brightest minds in the sports radio industry, Woods. The phrasing bothers me a little bit, just because if they had said we wanted to reach out to some of the most dynamic radio personalities in America, I would think absolutely Woods should be included in an email like that. We want to hear. We want to hear from some dynamic people who've spent good careers in radio, have been in different formats, got great perspective. Let's hear it. If you're looking for a bright sports radio mind, I'm not sure that I feel like I should be somewhat included then in that email. It wouldn't just go directly to you.
Do I need to revisit like you crapping all over everybody's happiness and joy on Friday? That wasn't very. What was the phrase in the email there? Bright.
Bright. Bright Sports Radio.
Maybe they were listening on Friday with AJ Preller, and they're just like, guy's not very bright. He's not very bright and cheery.
If you listen to what Ben just said, it was like the biggest backhanded slap in the face ever. I would understand if they wanted, dynamic people that have worked in multiple areas of radio. But when it comes to bright, sports radio minds, no, absolutely not. So it's I guess I should have never asked. What I didn't want to do, and I think in any relationship, and you want to be above board. What I didn't want to do is just respond to the 3 questions that he asked, and then you see it pop up in Barrett Sports Media. I wanted to at least let you know or ask you if you got it, and apparently you didn't. And
well, go ahead and give our perspective, or I guess your perspective on whatever's going on in the radio business right now.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. East County Chris has been saying Woodsy is dynamic, not smart. I get it. It's been the knock on me for my whole life, man. It's a blessing and a curse.
It's not Woods-splains things. It's Ben-splains things.
Yeah, it's Ben-splains. Exactly.
Theoretically, Ben understands things better than, most at least. That's what I pride myself on.
Apparently, Dominic's is dynamic equals dumb. Yeah, exactly. Now, listen, it's one thing to get it from, the hacksaws of the world, or the people that don't like what you do and don't like who you are. It's another thing entirely to get it from your co-host, which I feel is very, very interesting.
Honestly, though, I am super, super proud that how far have you come in 7 years when you've jumped in to sports radio, really for the first time in your career. Yep. And you have had a bigger impact, I think, on this format and on this market than anyone could have ever imagined over these last 7 years. You've put your stamp on it. And honestly, if people are paying attention, and the people who read Barrett are the ones around the country who should be paying attention, they absolutely should be listening to you and your perspective on this industry, because I would say thanks to you, we have done things that really have never been seen in sports talk radio, especially in this market. And I will say that they've made a wise choice in asking for your wise opinions.
Thank you, Benny. I appreciate that very much. Maria says she's Team Ben on this one because I'm gloating. I really was not gloating. I thought that they would probably send it to our entire show because we'd been ranked.
It was like a form email. You thought it was just like a form email to everyone?
I did.
Dear sir, I'm reaching out for your valuable radio perspective.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of what I figured it was, and I do think you're a very bright mind, very, very bright mind. But that is really, really, that was a really interesting scene.
Maybe they just have my wrong email address or typed it in wrong.
Could be.
Finally, a chance for somebody to get on and do some good sports talk radio.
Check your spam, Ben.
It could be in the deleted items or in the just straight to junk mail. It's possible. I've got multiple email accounts. It's in there somewhere, I'm sure. No way I was overlooked by Barrett and soliciting the opinions of bright sports radio minds across the country.
Well, I've said it many times, and I do stand by it. There's a sports radio fraternity, and I'm not in it, and I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with it. I don't need to be involved in it. I like to do things my way as well, and our way, the way that we do things now. But it's okay. I don't take offense that I'm not welcomed at the happy hour at Christmas, and I really don't. I would never want to go. I'm glad.
You got a problem.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have done our own thing. It's really what my goal was to do our own thing and do it differently. So we have, and I will be submitting to Barrett, and hopefully I come off as bright and not just dynamic and dumb.
I have to say, if there was an actual sports radio fraternity, it would be the worst house to live in ever.
There's no question. I mean,
the smell. The smell.
There is no question.
It would be disgusting. It would be loud. It would be filled with rude and obnoxious people. It would be the worst fraternity house to live in.
Bruce Springsteen posters everywhere.
Just Metamucil everywhere you turned. Just constant diarrhea and bowel problems, and And I mean, it'd be the worst. No girls, by the way. I mean, usually in a fraternity house, you got
Leftover
girls
free
coming
food
by.
that was brought into the radio station 3 days ago that is brought back to the fraternity for people just sitting out in the kitchen the entire time. I mean, it would be disgusting.
The amount of women that would come through that fraternity house is zero. And I mean zero. Not one single female.
There'd be like a force field around
well,
it.
Maggie might be there.
Let's check out this frat. Why are they watching whack basketball right now? You know what I mean? And why do they care at all? And they're all sitting around in old T-shirts from radio stations. They're all talking about how great it used to be. Just a woman repeller, that entire house. So I'm glad that I'm not a part of it. I really am. Usually I feel left out on things like that. That's not one that I've ever felt left out. I never have felt left out on that, but I will try to do us proud and send in my responses. I'm sorry that you did not get that email. Again, check your spam. It may be in there.
We're not even as cool as Lambda.
No. They actually had girls at their.
They did.
They had the Omega Moves.
They won,
showed
and
up,
they won the whole fraternity competition at the end.
That's exactly
They're amazing with their amazing musical performance.
Steve says Round Table Pizza from 2 weeks ago still in the fridge. Oh, dude, you are not kidding.
Like some
old
flat sodas.
Just gross.
What else do we have around here?
Just gross.
Leftover energy drinks. It's
there's a cooler that's like no ice or anything. It's got water bottles that have been in there for like a year.
If you walked into the kitchen in our building, you will find a white cooler that is filled with like old Sunkist and Celsius and water. It's just like old water bottles where they've been in there so long that the label's starting to peel off of all of them.
Oh yeah.
So good. So good. So anyway, thank you to Barrett. I will definitely submit. Got to get it in before the 20th. I love radio. That's the one thing is I love radio. I love the medium. I told the story last week, man, about how we were evacuated for that tsunami. And without that local radio station, guys, I don't know what I would have done. I really don't. Finding that local radio station, that community radio, honestly, we listened to them for hours, and it was so wheels off. And, if I wasn't evacuated for a tsunami, I would have thought this is the greatest bad radio I've ever heard. But the power of them being able to tell me what to do, they had the mayor on, they had everybody on to kind of make us feel better. It truly is incredible. The power of radio is something I've always believed in and always will believe in. So make sure you support your local radio stations, preferably ours. And it means the world to me. It always has.
It's still something we turn together to as a community, especially in times of both tragedy and celebration. And I feel like after a big win like this morning, you've got everyone jumping in because they want to hear about the Padres. But, when bad things happen, too, everyone kind of comes together to find a way to deal with it together. And that's why I always feel like there's a place for radio and, shows like this and formats like this in any community like San Diego. Just important to have it out there every single day.
Yeah, it truly saved us when we were going to be fine. But having them kind of hold our hand through the whole thing, that's the power of radio. And I'll probably mention that in my response to Barrett.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples, calling all parents and teachers. At Staples, your back-to-school budget is officially saved by the button, the easy button, with supplies as low as 25 cents, plus laptops up to 40% off, and more deals on top brands and trending styles. Find it all at Staples. That was easy. All right, coming up, we have a game of Take on Woods. I believe Woodsy is 0-2 this week.
Brutal,
that is rare.
Brutal start to August.
See if he can snap his losing streak or if a Tier 1 can qualify for our great getaway to Las Vegas at Resorts World and the day club passes and the $175 in food and beverage. It's our musical trivia challenge. It is coming up next. If you'd like to be our contestant, you can call up during the break, 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We'll pick someone to go head-to-head against Woods. 5 questions of musical trivia is coming up next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, want to tell you about sdfatloss.com, and I got to call up this text that Woodsy forwarded from one of our tier ones. Said let's see, on a different note, I wanted to share that my 60 days on SD Fat Loss ended yesterday. I'm down 40 pounds. That S works. Yes, that S does work. It worked for me. I also lost 40 pounds in 60 days with sdfatloss.com, and I did it just by eating regular food from the grocery store. A lot of chicken, ate some steak, ate some fish, some veggies that I liked, and I lost the weight fast, up to a pound of fat per day, 10 to 20% of your body weight in 60 days. That's what you can expect. What you can not expect: no exercise necessary, no injections, no prepackaged meals or shakes. It is simply sustainable weight loss designed to help you lower your metabolism by up to 17 years. Doctor developed and really pushed with these great coaches who really keep you on track. And they know that, hey, life gets in the way. You're going to have a cheat day here or there. You're not going to be perfect. But if you stick with the program like so many tier ones have, you are going to lose the weight. And then you're going to be able to keep it off like I have for 2 full years, thanks to the sustainability of it. You're not depending on anything other than yourself and real food. Makes a huge difference. Right now in August, you can still take $200 off the program. Get started as soon as you want here in the summer, at the end of the summer. They just want to get you to explain how the program works with a free consultation. Go to sdfatloss.com for that free consultation. At sdfatloss.com, results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
Now, Paulie informs me we had a contestant on the line, but then he just dropped off. So you get a chance to call in again here if you want to play Take on Woods, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Still to come this morning, we will hear from tonight's starting pitcher making his Padres debut. Nasty Nestor is what I believe they called him when he was with the New York Yankees for a while. Nestor Cortez. Yeah. Will make his first start tonight. We can hear from him. We got some audio thanks to our Sammy Levitt, who's in Arizona calling the games, and we'll get to call one more game tonight. He'll be going up against Anthony DeSclafani of the Diamondbacks at 6:40, and then a nice off day for your San Diego Padres at home. They'll get back late tonight, but then just kind of relax tomorrow on Thursday, and then back at it at home against the Boston Red Sox for a big series against a team that looks like it's trending toward making the playoffs. They're red hot right now. They've won 6 in a row and are firmly, I think, in the first wild card spot now in the American League. So they're definitely thinking of themselves as a playoff team right now.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Again, we talked about it yesterday. They were dead and buried. The world was ending there in Boston. And, you know, very few teams, maybe other than the Brewers, are playing as well as they are right now. So going to be another tough challenge at home.
All right, I see some callers on the line. Let's get to it. It is time for today's game of Take on Woods. All right, looks like Charles has jumped in here. Are you there, Charles?
Hello?
Charles, are you there? Are you here for Take on Woods?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
That's all right. That's all right. You feel like you're up to this challenge? 5 questions of musical trivia against Woods?
Yes, I've played once before.
Okay, well, sounds confident. So let's do this. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm. Security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. If you can beat or tie Woods, Charles, you will qualify for our grand prize getaway to Las Vegas 2 nights at Resorts World right there on the Strip. 2 VIP expedited front-of-the-line admission passes to AU Day Club and a $175 food and beverage credit. Check out your own vacation and special summer rates at rwlasvegas.com, offering no resort fees and complimentary parking. All right, you get to pick our category here. Woods is no longer on audio in Hawaii. Your categories are Wish List, 5 song titles that begin with I Want, a song within a song, 5 song titles that include the word song, and Talk Dirty to Me, 5 song titles that begin with the word dirty. So wish list, a song within a song, or talk dirty to me. Charles, what would you like to play?
Let's do wish list.
Wish list. All right. Today's category features 5 song titles that all begin with the phrase, I want. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as possible. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question is the 2-second song. Paulie is queuing this one up, and make sure you pick the live version, because that makes a difference.
Give me a lot of homework.
I know.
Here.
Give you a lot of homework here. Find the right version. Cue it up to where it needs to be. You need to give me the song title and the artist for that one to score the point. We'll see how you do. Charles, you ready to play?
All right, yes.
All right, he is ready. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Paulie is working on queuing me up here on this one.
Your timing was not matching up with the song
up
that I've got here.
All right. You know the part I'm thinking of, right?
I do.
Okay. I want it to be the one that's the most familiar version to give him the best chance of winning. That's why I picked it.
I think I got it.
All right. He thinks he's got it. All right, Charles. 60 seconds on the clock again. The category wish list. I want. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Ooh, I know this one. I Want You to Want Me by
Correct.
What's the name of the band?
All right. You can pass and come back to the band.
Yeah, pass.
All right. According to Huey Lewis, which 1984 hit is actually a love song, doesn't really have anything to do with illegal narcotics.
Goodness, pass.
The Beatles didn't even try to get to first base, in which tame 1963 song that became their first #1 hit in the United States.
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Correct. George Michael, meanwhile, is looking to go all the way, in which provocative hit from the Beverly Hills Cop 2 soundtrack.
I Want to Know What Love... No.
Incorrect. The music video for which 1984 song by Queen features the members of the band all dressed in drag.
I Want to Break Free.
Correct. According to... let's go back to our 2-second song, see if you can get that artist. We ran out of time. And you did get the song title. It was I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick. Huey Lewis was I Want a New Drug. You did get I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles, and I Want to Break Free by Queen. I Want Your Sex is George Michael. Flip that, Paulie. All right, let's bring on Woods, see if he can do better than the 2. Send him the text.
Okay.
All right, this is a fun one, Woods. Charles' score is locked in. Get the same 5 questions, same 60 seconds. No category for you. Your time begins when Paulie plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Charles.
That's Cheap Trick, I Want You to Want Me.
Correct. According to Huey Lewis, which 1984 hit is actually a love song. It doesn't really have anything to do with illegal narcotics.
I Want a New Drug.
Correct. The Beatles don't even try to get to first base, in which tame 1963 song that became their first #1 hit in the United States.
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Correct. George Michael, meanwhile, is looking to go all the way, in which provocative hit from the Beverly Hills Cop 2 soundtrack.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. Pass.
The music video for which 1984 song by Queen features the members of the band all dressed in drag.
Say that one again.
The music video for which 1984 song by Queen features the members of the band all dressed in drag.
Oh, God, I'm like choking out on the last 2 questions, the last 2 days. George Michael. I don't know, man. I don't know. Son of a...
Last
Any idea what the category is? Those are all songs that start with I want.
I want. Okay.
I Want You to Want Me. I Want a New Drug. I Want to Hold Your Hand. I Want Your Sex by George Michael.
I Want Your Sex.
And I Want to Break Free by Queen. But you did sneak out a 3-2 win over Charles today.
Jeez,
so the losing streak is over.
I just screamed, I want your sex, by the way.
So did I at some point. You have to, because that's the name of the song. I Want Your Sex.
Good. Save his. Don't worry about mine. Ben, when is your next vacation? Because I could see us using that in a prank call.
You know what? I'm taking a day off in a couple of weeks on a Friday. So I Want Your Sex. You'll have a chance if you'd like to use a prank call for me.
It's so much better when you do it than when I do it. It's so much better. It's not even the same.
Oh my!
Holy
God.
crap! Where are you going, by the way?
I'm actually going to do a little golf weekend with my buddy before he leaves town. So yeah,
nice, good.
You
good,
know
good,
what?
good.
I figured if you've been off as many days as you have this
Hey,
summer,
relax.
I can take one day off, right?
Why don't you take the gear and do it on your golf vacation the whole time that you're there?
Well, let's see.
after
You
a
took the
national
gear. I
emergency?
appreciate you took the gear, but you also went to England and you did have a couple travel days around taking the gear. So I'm taking my one.
All right,
taking my one at some point.
I disagree, but that's fine.
All right, we will take a timeout. When we come back, what does Woods have in common with George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers? We will find out next on 97.3 The Fan.
I got it quickly, everybody. I can't stop thinking of him saying that. Listen, I have to transition here to tell you about Loan Pronto. If you're maxed out on your credit cards, it's many people are struggling with high interest debt. You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan. Does feel good to zero those things out. Get cash out now of your home's equity without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The rapid equity loan program it's pretty incredible at Loan Pronto. Got to give them a call. Get it started today. They have instant approvals. They've got low rates, no hard credit pull up front, which is pretty massive as well. That equity in your home is yours. Use it. Get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now. Get a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get out today. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Service is impeccable. Call now. Get the conversation started at 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. Poke around there. 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
A little breaking news from our friends at SDFC, who won last night, by the way, 2-0 over Mazatlan Woods.
2-0.
0 is fine. Nil is fine. You just can't say 2-0. That shows you're a soccer novice if you say 2-0 or 2-zip or something. Don't use that kind of slang terminology here on the radio. Yeah, they did win. They were already eliminated from the League's Cup, so they knocked Mazatlan out last night. It was kind of a fairly small crowd. People already know, it's not the biggest match. They're waiting for the MLS season to resume this Saturday. But the team did announce this morning that they have acquired forward Corey Baird from FC Cincinnati in exchange for $50,000 in general allocation money. Interestingly, Baird is, like Milan Alaski before him, an Escondido native. So they're getting another local to take Alaski's place. It was officially announced as part of the Philadelphia Union yesterday as well. Baird has played for Cincinnati for the last season and a half, 52 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists across all competitions. So a little more depth for Mikey Varas' team for this stretch run. Last 9 regular season games, and then hopefully on to the playoffs. I believe they're at 9 or 13, somewhere around there, but they're down to definitely the near the end of the season here for the MLS, and looks like they're going to be going to the playoffs in this first season, which is pretty cool.
Pretty exciting, and I would say fairly unexpected for a team that's brand new, trying to figure it all out. And they've had some big wins this season, been a lot of fun to watch, and, are here to stay. So let's get behind them as best we can.
Yeah, really nice job. Goes without saying, but putting together a team from scratch for the, ownership, Tyler Heaps, the general manager, Mikey Varas, taking, something out of really nothing. We just picking players from all over the world, expansion, signing them, acquiring them on loan, and trying to create a cohesive unit. I mean, imagine how hard that is. You kind of have to do it with your adult league baseball team. Just take a bunch of randos, stick them together, and hope to make a team out of it. It's not an easy challenge, to be sure, and they've really handled it masterfully to be in first place in the Western Conference.
Well, it's a little different in adult league because there's no stakes. Who cares at the end of the day, right? You lose 14 games. Nobody really cares other than the guys that paid their fees and came out and played. But I mean, it's such a big deal here in San Diego, and they've really done a good job. They've had to navigate some landmines as well, and some pretty big news, losing Milan, and now replacing him. And I mean, look, it's going to be fun watching this team down the stretch and getting to the playoffs. Where I don't know much about MLS playoffs, but it is soccer. Anything can happen, literally. And this team has showed a lot of resilience and fight all season long. They've been really entertaining.
All right, as I teased before, what does Woods have in common with George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers? We'll get to that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. Got this crash and clearing stage on northbound 5 right before Main and Division. Looks like they are trying to get that out of the 2 right lanes. Several vehicles involved, so just watch out for a little activity there. That's north 5 before Main and Division. Fortunately, the rest of our freeways seem to be winding down pretty nicely. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why the recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So it was, a year or so ago where Woods went through a bit of a phase, and Paulie sometimes jumped in as well.
Longer than that. This was like 5 or 6 years
that
ago.
many years ago? I felt like it wasn't that long ago, but, passing of time goes quickly. Where you do like a hit of smelling salts right before the show to kind of fire yourself up like you were some sort of, NFL linebacker or tight end getting ready to hit the field before the game. I never wanted to participate or was not that interested.
You were never here because this was like so long ago. It was like when we started at 5 a.m.
Did you do it back then?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like
me,
a second
Woods, and
phase.
Hammer at 4:59 are just like.
Oh no, this was. I'm thinking long after Hammer. This is like just a couple of weeks where you maybe had a few, and I didn't realize you did them that often. So, it was announced yesterday that the NFL had banned using or providing players with ammonia caplets, aka smelling salts, and the reaction was pretty strong by at least a number of players around the league, including 49ers tight end George Kittle, who was by the way, it was Fred Warner who was being interviewed on the NFL Network, but George Kittle actually felt so strongly about this that he interrupted the interview.
He just kind of like snuck up behind Warner and put his arms around him, and they're like, "Oh, hi, George Kittle." So the first voice you'll hear is Fred Warner wrapping up a thought, and just know that George Kittle is just like grabbed a microphone and he's just standing there behind like 4 people sitting in these chairs.
But yeah, man, I mean, the goal of course is being in Levi's, beginning of 2026. That's always the goal.
Sure. And George, hello, friend. How are you? I honestly just came up here to air a grievance. Oh. Our team got a memo today that smelling salts and ammonia packets were made illegal in the NFL.
Wow.
And I've been distraught all day.
Okay. Illegal? He even said that he's not practicing anymore.
I considered retirement.
Yeah. So they go ahead and bring that back for George Kittle.
Yeah, so we got to figure out middle ground here, guys. Somebody help me out. Somebody come up with a good idea. Fred, it's on you.
Airing of grievances.
Yeah, that's all I had to get out there. I'll get that off.
Is it every drive?
I'm an every drive.
I've seen guys
I'm an every drive.
In between every play,
that's too much.
Pulls out the sauce.
Way too much.
Yeah. Well, it feels like the energy's still out here, though. I mean,
no, definitely. But I missed those already.
Well, they haven't been out a lot of practice.
No, we don't have them out practice.
Okay, all right, just checking.
That's all right. That was my only grievance, but besides that, you guys look fabulous.
We'll
Fred,
fix it.
It's all yours.
Thank you,
George.
We'll do our best to help you out with that, man.
I just don't know. Can it actually be safe to smell that much ammonia over the course of a football game? Every single drive, he's hitting smelling salts.
Can I counter that with, is it really safe to be throwing your body around a field and banging helmets with guys that are 300 pounds of solid muscle, lowering your head into them as you have caught a 10-yard pass and you're trying to get upfield. Guys are flying in at 36 miles an hour to try to take your head off. You're gonna ban those like that. I mean, it's crazy. It says in here, the FDA issued a warning to companies that produce the inhalants. It says the FDA noted potential effects from this use. They have the potential to mask certain neurologic signs and symptoms, including some potential signs of concussion. I mean, football in and of itself is extremely violent and dangerous. So to ban these, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
myself.
So I think the argument is they're not dangerous in and of themselves, but if you did get hit in the head and, the doctor's coming over to see how your alertness is, that smelling salt, the reaction from it, and I did my own research on this yesterday, all it really does is it irritates your nose to force you to breathe deeper and take in more oxygen. So you could actually get the effect of smelling salts just by breathing deeply a few times on your own. That's what it causes it to do. It really is just the oxygen. It's the oxygen hit to your brain. The ammonia doesn't affect your body in any way. That's why it's really not dangerous. It's simply causing you to breathe in more deeply and get more oxygen to counteract the irritation that your nose is experiencing from the ammonia. It wants to get rid of that smell so fast that you take in a bunch of oxygen, and that gives you a little, shot of mental clarity and adrenaline for some people, just getting rid of it. But in terms of like physiological effects, there's no medical research or evidence that says it actually helps you perform in any way. It's not like a steroid or a drug or anything that actually changes your performance level on the field. AKA cannabis.
Yeah, exactly. And as Dominic says, is it really safe to keep adding more and more games and playing them sometimes just a few days apart? I am under the I fall into the category of, look, outside of PEDs, as it were, I think, let these guys do what they have to do to get through that incredible grind that is the NFL season. And sure, I mean, I'm positive there are probably some adverse effects, Benny, if used too much, but I think that's, there's a lot of adverse effects to playing football as well. So I don't know. I thought it was, probably mostly tongue in cheek by George Kittle. Look, let's also be honest. There's probably ways around this as well.
Did you really feel like it helped you when you were doing smelling salts before the show?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm exhausted in the morning, and at that time, think about how small my kids were. They're still pretty small, but like back then, it was like, dude, I'm on 3 hours of sleep. Stayed up to watch the game. That was before the pitch clock. Games would end at 11:30 or whatever. I got two small kids. I come into work and I'm like, hey, I'm going to pop one of these just right before the opening break. And whoo, all right, now I'm awake and now I'm focused and alert. Let's go. You didn't see me hitting 10, 12, 14 of them a show. It was pretty much one to get up and ready for the opening
it hit
break.
real hard at like 4:58, which
really
kind of wakes
did.
you up. I don't know that like I would need one like constantly throughout the day, or like, I don't know, would you use one every couple innings in a baseball game? Like, probably not.
No, usually right before I go
But
out.
if that's what works for them, power
Yeah,
to them. And
and,
I don't understand the whole.
Like Max says in the chat too, the concern is it masks the doctor's ability to diagnose concussion. And even with what we have, it gets missed. I feel like a lot of concussions are missed already. You know what I mean?
So let's not
like
give another reason that they can miss even more concussions. I totally
But
get
like I
it.
said, these like George Kittle will absolutely still be doing smelling salts on the sidelines. That's a promise. It's not that hard to hide. This is not, I got to drag this big apparatus out there and do it. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, it does say, according to the memo, teams are prohibited from, quote, providing or supplying ammonia in any form. I kind of doubt that if you brought your own, that necessarily there's going to be the smelling salt police roaming the sidelines to make sure that you're not, discreetly doing it yourself. So I'm guessing that George Kittle is going to find a way to do what he feels like he needs to do to perform.
Yeah.
But honestly, based on what I read, if you need that hit, just breathe. Get a little extra oxygen to your brain. Nice deep breath is all you're really looking for.
It's not the same.
It's oxygen. That's all it is. The ammonia doesn't do anything to you. It's the oxygen to your brain to try to get rid of the ammonia smell in your nose that is actually affecting you and your mental clarity with the smelling salts.
I mean, I feel like my mental clarity was on point. And I don't have them anymore. I don't really do them anymore because I'm, life is a little bit easier now. But holy cow, back then it was like a necessity. I'm like, I cannot wake up, and nice little boost. I mean, look, it's better for you than some of the other things I used to wake up. So that was fine.
Now, I was questioning my mental clarity yesterday when I admitted that I had never realized that there was a secret P in the SD Padres interlocking logo. Woods, you said you had seen it, and I put the question out on social media with the picture that Paulie put up, and I had a poll, and we've had now in 24 hours, just closing up, 1,300 votes or so.
Yeah.
About 65% say they had no idea there was a P, like me, in the San Diego Padres logo. About 35% said they did know it. I had some responses saying that they remember when the Padres went to the sand uniforms in the, what was that, like the late 90s or early 2000s, that they did a whole explainer, we're changing the SD slightly so it creates this P inside the logo as well. I didn't remember that, and I don't think I had ever noticed that the Padres logo had a P inside of it.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at how many people. So you were right. I'm going to give you your flowers for that. You were right. You were kind of one of the majority that hadn't noticed that. But now that you've seen it, you'll never unsee it.
No, of course not. Never will look at that San Diego Padres logo again.
Never ever.
Without seeing the P that is inside the logo. And I got a few pictures of the old, the first generation of Padres, and the D was much lower in the interlocking. And so it really didn't create that P effect when they first developed the logo for the Padres. So this is a more
the
in the
D
last
and
20,
the P,
25 years.
They're very closely connected.
The D gets much lower the older you get, I found out.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Just kind of sags a little bit lower.
Sags a little bit, yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Just happens. Happens to all of us.
Fair enough. Well, the Padres are again in their 50s now, so
That's
as
true.
are you.
As am I. Feeling every bit of it.
All right, we will come back. We got an hour to go. Paulie's got his Rindle report. We'll hear from Nestor Cortez, tonight's starting pitcher, making his debut for the San Diego Padres. That is next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's the final new Padre acquired at the trade deadline tonight as the teams wrap up their 3-game series at Chase Field in Arizona. Rubber game. Nestor Cortes will take the mound against Anthony DeSclafani of the Diamondbacks, and I'm interested to see what Nestor Cortes brings to the table, Woods, because honestly, that was the most surprising trade that AJ Preller made. It was right at the last minute. We were kind of our minds blown from everything else, and they just kind of threw it in at the end. And I'm still not quite certain why the Milwaukee Brewers gave up Nestor Cortes and a prospect for Brandon Lockridge when he was so close to coming back. I'm assuming they didn't have a place for him, maybe on their 40-man or 26-man, and we're going to have to get rid of him anyway, and just thought, let's get what we can for him at this point. But, I mean, all signs point to the fact that Nestor Cortes is a pretty good pitcher, wouldn't you say?
I would. Obviously, he's only thrown this season. He's thrown 8 innings total, right? So he was coming back from injury. Now, he got his teeth kicked in New York way back in March, Benny. Gave up 8 earned runs and then made his next start in Cincinnati, threw 6 innings of one-hit ball, struck out 6, and then he got hurt. And he's been working his way back ever since. So I think there's a good pitcher in there. I think there's certainly a serviceable pitcher in there. What we're going to get from Nestor Cortes tonight, I have no earthly idea. But I know what I would like.
Well, yeah, I mean, how about someone pitching at least into the 6th inning would be nice to give the bullpen a bit of a rest. His best season came in 2022 with the Yankees when he went 12-4 with a 2.44 ERA. Yeah. 163 strikeouts in 158 innings and a whip of 0.92. So Nestor at his best is pretty dominant. Now, last year, not bad at all. 2024 made 30 starts, 9-10 with a 3.77 ERA, 174 innings, 162 strikeouts, and 1.15 whip for a starter. Absolutely, that's something you would take. So even if they get last year's Nestor Cortes with the 3.77 ERA pitching at the back of the Padres rotation, to me, that feels like a real steal at the trade deadline for AJ Preller.
Well, we'll see. I honestly, we'll see how it works. And, coming off an injury, yeah, of course you're going to be, hesitant to anoint him with anything. We'll see how he does tonight. I'm excited to see him. Nice to have another lefty in there other than JP Sears, who got sent down. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can provide. At his best, he can be pretty good. But look, at the end of the day, too, man. You're facing Anthony DeSclafani, who is somebody that you need to go after. Now, I was looking at his numbers. Is he like an opener for them? Does he do like 2 innings max?
He's been a starter in the past. How Torey Lovello is using him right now, I honestly don't have any idea. I assume that they're shuffling.
I think he's been getting nothing but relief appearances lately.
So maybe it's more of a bullpen game with an opener, or maybe they have a bulk guy coming in behind after making some moves and trading Merrill Kelly. Is this Merrill Kelly's spot maybe in the rotation that's coming up, and they need to figure out a way to get through it now with less starting options? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the Padres are going to be facing tonight.
He has started 2 games for them, and he's thrown a total of 25 innings. So I think he does do kind of the 2, maybe 2 2/3 type inning situation. So yeah, I mean, he's a guy that you want to get to early. Padres have been certainly coming on as of late offensively. So yeah, this is one that you definitely look at and say, yeah, we need to win this. We need to win this series. We need to beat a pitcher like Anthony DeSclafani and get back at the off day and then come back and get ready to face a tough Red Sox team. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how scary either matchup is for either team. I don't know if you're quaking in your boots this morning if you're the Diamondbacks, and I certainly don't think you are if you're the Padres.
Well, let's find out a little bit more about Nestor Cortes. I believe Sammy got in the audio in the clubhouse at Chase Field yesterday before the game, and here's what one of the newest Padres had to say about joining the team.
So welcome to the whirlwind, man. You go from one contender to another. Yeah. Do you feel like you're settling into the new uniform and digs?
Yeah, I feel good. I think that the past 48 to 72 hours here have been great. Just learning, a lot of names, a lot of faces, and but ready to rock.
What's the toughest part of the adjustment to a new club?
I think the moving part is the hardest part. Obviously, being in Milwaukee and planning out for living there for 6 or 7 months, and then, getting a call all of a sudden and moving across the country. It was tough, but I mean, like I said, I'm happy to be healthy. I'm happy to be able to contribute here, and I know it's a special team. The deadline was crazy for this team, so I just want to be another stepping stone to what these guys want to accomplish.
What was your reaction when you found out you were going to not only San Diego but a contender?
Yeah, no, I probably got called 10 minutes before by the Milwaukee GM, and he had advised me that I had been traded, and obviously, it sucked for me because I was able to only pitch in 2 games over there, being hurt. And, obviously those guys traded for their closer for me. And it was tough to obviously, say goodbyes. And it sucked that I wasn't able to give more to them. But I think injuries is part of the game. And, I got healthy at the right time. And now I'm going to contribute here. And hopefully, like I said, be another guy in this locker room.
Have you had a chance to talk with Ruben Niebla? I mean, he's got such a great reputation in your industry.
Yeah.
And is this the kind of thing where you just do you for a little bit, everybody kind of feels each other out? Or was there input right out of the gate before you first started?
No, he made it clear to me on Sunday when I went to go play catch. He's like, hey, do you? Obviously, we know who we're getting, so we're not trying to, reinvent the wheel here. But, if there's anything you ever need or want to take a deep dive into things that you do, I'm here for you. So that kind of released some pressure out of that conversation with me and him. And yesterday I threw my bullpen here in Arizona, and I thought the conversation was really well. He saw my pitch mix, he saw what I was able to do, and like I told him, I love the numbers, I love the analytics, but I also understand the style of pitching and how to pitch. So I think if we combine both, it'll be great for me.
Oh, it was interesting.
Well, that didn't sound like Sammy, by the way.
Well, Sammy was the one, I think, shooting the audio,
Sammy
not
sounds
asking
a
the
lot
question.
like Mike Pomeranz.
Yeah.
I did have to laugh when it's like, hey, man, you're coming to a contender. I'm like, yeah, but he got traded from the best team in baseball. You know what I mean? So, I obviously like what he has to say. Excited to watch him pitch.
Yeah, I thought it was a good question by Mike. Like, how does Ruben approach a new pitcher? Do you instantly give him hey, we've been watching you on film and we have some thoughts, or do you go hey, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much, you just go be you? And I think for a veteran pitcher like Nestor Cortes, as you could tell, the answer is more like you be you. We'll watch your stuff, and then we're here as a resource. If you have anything that we can help you with, we will jump right in, but we're not going to force a bunch of changes on you in the middle of the season when we're asking you to go out there and pitch for us in a pennant race. We're also not going to hey, can you learn this new pitch in 5 days? And, we think you can add a better sweeper, to your arsenal. That's more of off-season work for Nestor Cortes, not something you'd expect to see them doing in the last 2 months of the season.
Well, and, the thing that makes tonight really interesting for the Padres Diamondbacks is the bullpen usage by Mike Schilt over the last couple of days. Looking at the usage chart right now, and they've got guys that are in the red. David Morgan being one of them at 56 pitches in the last 5. Morahone 35 pitches, or 35 pitches in the last 3. Suarez 31 pitches in the last 3. Peralta 28, Adam 27, Miller 24, Estrada 21, and Yuki is really the only super duper fresh one.
Well, Sean Reynolds is fresh. Fortunately.
Sean Reynolds is fresh. That's right. He was not added to this because he hasn't pitched since he's come back up. But Sean Reynolds will be fresh. But look, great day for an offensive outburst to be sure. And they do have the off day, so you'll see, a couple of those guys that will say, "I'm ready." And honestly, I think Mason Miller is a guy. I know he threw 24 pitches last night. I don't know, man. Is that a guy, Benny, that you go right back to today just to get him to shake that off?
I definitely think this is a day where you assess, like everybody, when they get to the ballpark.
Yeah.
How's your arm feeling today? Do you think you've got one inning for us if we needed it, or would you rather have the 2 days off with the off day? But knowing you have an off day tomorrow, you can be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
And if you need to use a guy for a third time in 4 days, this would be a day where you could at least consider it. But yeah, Nestor Cortes, trying to get some innings in would be great. It's hard to ask that for a guy making his first start in months and months. Now, he had a month of rehab starts, so, hopefully he got built up at least a little bit there. He mentioned how much the Brewers gave up to get him. And it's interesting to revisit that trade. That was the Devin Williams trade, where the Yankees acquired what they thought was like one of the premier relief pitchers in all of baseball, and they gave up a lefty starter and infield prospect Caleb Durbin, who was pretty much manned third base for much of the season for the Milwaukee Brewers. And it looks, in that respect, it looks like, the Yankees gave up way too much because Devin Williams has been terrible for them. But then again, Nestor Cortes didn't do anything for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they gave him up for a song at the trade deadline. So it ended up being like a weird trade for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, strangely enough, Brandon Lockridge, has slid right into that lineup. I don't know what he's done the last couple of days. I know he got off to a hot start. He hit a home run. He was leading off for Pat Murphy's Brewers. So, it's baseball's weird. Trades are weird. They identified something they liked in him, and obviously the Padres needed some pitching, so we got nasty Nestor. And I really hope he's nasty tonight against the D-backs.
I totally missed that. Brandon Lockridge led off and hit a home run for the magic Milwaukee Brewers. What devil magic is going on in Milwaukee right now?
It's just insane. I mean, and I literally saw a Brewer fan and a Padre fan going back and forth. This guy's like, I can't believe the dog we got for Nestor Cortes. Brandon Lockridge is a total dog. He's going to fit in perfect. And it's like, all right. I mean, Brandon had some chances here. He did fine. Wasn't kind of what I thought he would be defensively. Obviously with the bat, there were some concerns, but again, it's change of scenery. It's change of clubhouse. There's all kinds of things that can work in a player's favor. And hopefully, we get that same kind of luck with nasty Nestor.
All right. Well, another debut. And Angela did remind me in the chat. We still haven't seen Will Wagner, who was sent down to the minor leagues and it hasn't been called up yet. But that was the other trade deadline acquisition that we haven't seen yet. So we'll talk more about, the Padres results and Ramon Laureano's contributions after the trade line when we come back. And Paulie's got his Roundel report before we get out of here at 10 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, though, Woods and I want to talk about 7 Mile Casino. We mentioned tomorrow's an off day. No baseball to watch, which means if you don't have plans, make some plans to head down to 7 Mile Casino, maybe for a meal at Sammy's, and then sit down at one of their great tables. California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, baccarat, or pai gow. You're going to find an upscale, nice card room. Really as nice as anywhere you'll find in Las Vegas when you sit down and play cards at 7 Mile Casino.
Yeah, man. With the homestand coming up this weekend, great place to go pregame. Great place for post game. We got our tier 1 James hits it up a lot after the Padres games are over. Goes and sits in, and I believe he's a Texas Hold'em guy, if I'm not mistaken. Could be a California style blackjack, but hey, man, whatever works for you. They got it all at 7 Mile Casino. Smoke free environment, a slot machine free environment as well, which is important to me. But obviously, the best part, just 7 minutes from downtown.
The food's coming out of the kitchen 24/7. It's the 24/7 players menu. So whenever you're there, middle of the night, middle of the afternoon, you're hungry. They can satisfy your itch for a good meal. And on the weekends, they're serving the best brunch in the South County, voted by people who know brunch, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. Check it out. Enjoy the patio at 7 Mile at Sammy's, and then play some cards at our place, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, if the Padres win today, they will have another series victory under their belts, and we will likely, knock on wood, have a fairly happy manager on Friday for our manager's report with Mike Schilt. It is coming up at 9 a.m. on Monday morning or on Friday morning. You can always join us for the manager's report every other Friday here on Bennett Woods, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Yeah, his job has changed a little bit with the new options. Good problems to have, but Mike Schilt now has to think about his lineups every day a little bit longer than he used to, in that he's definitely got options to give guys rest, different matchups that he can pursue, but you don't want to overly pigeonhole guys into matchups as well. Like Ramon Laureano, from what we've seen so far, he needs to be in there every day, right?
Right. Every day. I'd be disappointed if he wasn't. And again, guys are going to need breaks from time to time down the stretch. Certainly at least get off your feet, DH or whatever. But with all of these new additions, you want to make sure that Iglesias stays engaged. You want to make sure that Sheets stays engaged. And of course, you want to use the all-star Ryan O'Hearn that you acquired. You want to find a spot for him. And I don't know what that looks like right now, Benny, depending on who's on the mound. Maybe it makes it a little easier, but didn't feel easier last night as you had Sheets and O'Hearn sitting on the bench. And of course, again, don't want to tell you how to fan, but I was texting with my boys last night, a couple of my ball player friends, and They couldn't believe that O'Hearn wasn't in there against a fastball heavy right-hander. And I said, man, again, I have no idea what's going on with Ryan O'Hearn, right? Could have tweaked a groin. I have no idea. They know more than us. There's a reason behind the madness. It doesn't always work, certainly, but I was as surprised as everyone else. But yeah, you're going to want to get guys off their feet from time to time. And hey, I'm sure glad they didn't give Manny the night off last night with 3 knocks and a walk. Yeah, perfect. Like it won. We won at the end of the day. I don't know what there is to be upset about. Now, of course, I will be looking forward to seeing the lineup tonight, what that looks like, and if Ryan O'Hearn is in there.
Well, I thought the overreaction to the lineup was a little bit silly yesterday, but
we're getting to the silly part of the season where everything is magnified.
Sure. I do think there is a question, though, a legitimate question about whether Ryan O'Hearn is an everyday player for the San Diego Padres.
I think the answer is no.
Do you think the answer is no, or do you think the Padres think the answer is no?
I think that, I think the Padres possibly think that the answer is no, right?
Well, based on usage so far, I guess that's fair. I mean, as a bench piece, yeah, he's great. He was a 2-WAR player last year. He's already a 2-WAR player this year with 2 months left to go. Consistently 14, 15, now 13 home runs the last 3 seasons. He certainly seems to have turned the corner to be a guy who you can expect to have around an 800 OPS. I mean, for the Padres, having an 800 OPS means you should be in the lineup all the time. And I get
so.
I get you want to have good matchups, but I don't think that he's a guy necessarily that you're just bringing in off the bench as a pinch hitter or just waiting for the right matchups to get him into the lineup. I do think he needs to be playing more. Now, whose playing time does that come at the expense of? I get it's a much tougher equation for the Padres than it was the Orioles, who just, penciled Ryan O'Hearn in, most days of the season.
Well, no, they looking at his platoon splits, got 264 ABs against righties. Only, if I'm reading this right, and that's always a question when it comes to me and reading these numbers, looks like he only had 64 plate appearances against left-handed pitchers.
But the Padres faced a righty yesterday.
I know that's exactly what I thought too. So they didn't pencil him in every day. I think they were careful about who they threw him in there against. But yeah, against the right-hander, I would imagine he'd be in. Was it just a symptom of, hey man, Manny needs a day off his feet. We want to keep Jose engaged and involved. Look, it all worked out at the end of the day. I'm not going to complain about it even a little bit. But again, with another righty on the mound tonight, who do you sit? Who do you sit? Is it Luis Ariz getting a day off and putting Ryan O'Hearn at first? Is it Luis DHing? Is it Ryan O'Hearn DHing? I have no idea. But I do feel like unless he's hurt, yeah, we got to get him in there against the righties.
It is tough because the Padres don't have a lot of options because their right-handed bats that you might rest are both on the left side of the infield. And their best defensive replacement is also a right-handed bat in Jose Iglesias. So unless you're going to do something weird like move Jake to shortstop and give Xander a day off and put Ryan O'Hearn at first and Luis Ariz at second, then you're probably downgrading at least 2 defensive positions. If you do that, it is a bit of an issue for how Mike Shildt can use Ryan O'Hearn in his lineups.
Yeah, but you use the term pigeonhole, and I think that's what you are hoping that it doesn't happen. Now we've got a lefty off the bench, defensive replacement, whatever Ryan O'Hearn you picture him as. But again, the guy was an all-star, mashes right-handed pitchers. But yeah, I need money says it wouldn't surprise me if it was a scheduled DH day for Manny since he has not almost every day. He's played in every single game. They didn't want to deviate from
I almost guarantee that that's what the case was yesterday.
Yeah, you stick with the plan that you had.
Manny wants to be out there every day, and he has the right to tell Mike Shildt, no, I'm playing today. If Mike Shildt says, hey, we're looking to give you a day off completely, like no DH, no third base, you're just going to have the day off. If Manny goes and says no,
this is Manny Machado.
I do think that Mike Shildt has to take that into consideration. All right, Manny says no, he's in the lineup, at least as a DH. So I will then work the rest of the lineup around having Manny, and I'll be happy about it because it's Manny Machado, and he's been my best hitter all season long.
Yeah, he was on base 4 times last night. So you could, I think Ramon Laureano's played some right field as well. If you wanted to give Tatis a day off of his feet, he could move there. Gavin Sheets could go play left. Ryan
O'Hearn's played some left.
He's played some left too.
Now you're moving a lot of people all around to different positions on the diamond, so there comes a cost with that as well. Usually,
this is what you got to do sometimes. So, had we won that first game in this series, yeah, you can get a little cute, you can get a little creative if you need to be, but we need to win this ball game and win this series today. So, need my best lineup out there, and I think Ryan O'Hearn, unless he's hurt, is a guy that should be in there.
Tough. That's why the manager, he's the manager. He's got to make
Cadillac problems.
Difficult decisions. It is way better to have the problem of too many good guys as opposed to no one to fill out the bottom of your lineup for sure. And it also, to me, it feels like Freddie Fermin has been anointed as the quote unquote everyday catcher.
Yeah, now,
fine by me. Now, there is no such thing as an everyday catcher. You're still going to need Elias Diaz to start twice a week, probably. But it seems as though that Freddie Fermin, they're going to be very aggressive with him the rest of the season in terms of getting him in there. He hasn't had to catch a ton of games with the Royals already this year because of Salvi Perez and, how much he's used, which means for a catcher at least, he's somewhat fresh going into the end of the season. And they can probably count on him going at least 2 out of every 3 games going forward.
I want him out there like kind of the maximum that he's able to be out there. I think it's important for him just to get comfortable, by the way, with the pitching staff, the relievers, everything. Like I want him as locked in and ready to go as we get into, mid to late September as he possibly can.
Joel says that some splits maybe had a part of it. Ryan Nelson had better splits
reverse
against
splits,
left-handed. Reverse splits. Yeah. So, hey man, that's fine too. That's fine too. So I'm down to mix and match, and Mike Schultz got those options. And again, I it's not throwing darts at a board. That's
and keep in mind, we have access to similar numbers that the Padres do. They have some of their own numbers, but we don't know what numbers they value.
Right.
In particular.
Well,
whether
honestly, like if you think back to what Schulte was saying about Trenton Brooks, he's like, yeah, I know he doesn't get any hits, but I sure like the way he looks up there. And it's like, all right, well, clearly we don't know anything.
Because I saw some numbers yesterday that, Ryan O'Hearn's really good against the fastball, which is what Ryan Nelson throws a ton of, but there's also reverse splits. I mean, a lot of times the numbers conflict and will give you 2 sets of information that can lead you to 2 different conclusions. And that's what baseball teams face every day. There's no, there's some obvious decisions when you have everyday players, but otherwise you may have 5 pieces of data pointing you one direction, 3 pointing you in the other direction. And then you go, all right, got to make my decision now based on, what information I have.
Yeah, no question about it. So it's going to be fun and also excruciating to go through this dialogue every day.
All right, Paulie's got his Rondell report for us in the final segment. What have we left for you at the end of this day?
We can talk about ESPN had themselves
big story.
Hell of a 24 hours.
Big and somewhat concerning story sports media-wise about the cross-pollination between ESPN and the NFL. That's definitely a good one. We will talk about that and more coming up in our final segment of Ben and Woods next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
A little Passan bomb heading into our final segment today. ESPN's Jeff Passan just reporting that outfielder Roman Anthony and the Boston Red Sox are finalizing an 8-year, $130 million contract extension. The deal, pending a physical, includes a club option and will keep Anthony under team control through 2034. The deal starts next year and includes significant escalators that could take the maximum value to $230 million, depending on where he finishes in AL Rookie of the Year voting, could buy out 3 or 4 years of free agency. Yeah, at the minimum end of that, it sounds like a really team-friendly deal for another top outfield prospect, similar to the deal that Jackson Merrill signed with the Padres. At the top end, it seems like a little bit more Woods, but a lot of deals for the young outfielders around baseball. It's a popular thing to do lately.
Yeah, get him locked up while you can, Benny. He was scratched the last couple of days, had his back tighten up on him, said he's feeling, heading in the right direction. They're going to be obviously extra cautious with this young player, young dynamic player that they have, and is going to be a cornerstone there in Boston for many, many years until they trade him to the Dodgers for pennies on the dollar. So
Jackson's deal, by the way, was 9 years, $135 million. At the low end, obviously they're similar. At the high end, it sounds like Roman Anthony could end up making quite a bit more than Jackson Merrill on his deal.
Yeah, no doubt. That's pretty solid for him, man. Take your guaranteed money where you can get it, I guess. And some people were saying in the Twitter comments, like, man, had he held out, just another year, maybe he could have gotten way, way more. Made sense for him, his team right now to do that deal, and they're got to be pretty stoked in Boston.
And then the other local breaking news, just during the break, I caught them removing our Odyssey vending machine, as we talked about. They did not waste much time.
Wow.
Already had the guys out here wheeling the thing out. I caught a little video just before it went out the door. It is now gone. We are now vending machine free here at Odyssey San Diego.
I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye.
I know. Isn't it sad?
Actually, I didn't even get a chance to say hello since I never used it. So
that's the problem. Vending machines are always something you feel guilty about, even if you feel like you're making a better, healthier choice. Because I know some of the machines now have those healthier options, you're still saying, but I could have brought this on my own.
Yeah.
I'm paying extra for something that I don't really need. I should have planned better. It's always the refuge of a mistake. You made some sort of mistake that led you to have to use the vending machine, and that's their business model. And maybe it's a good sign that Odyssey San Diego has moved beyond the need for vending machines.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Ben. And I guess I will say goodbye, vending machine. I hardly knew you.
Shout out to his family.
It's gone. It's gone. Out the door, completely gone. All right, Paulie's got some headlines for the Roundel Report. We'll get to that after our last check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple of problems on northbound 805. One's a collision right before Home Avenue. Car in the center divide, one over to the right shoulder. Then reports of an overturn crash north 805 right at the 15 connector. This vehicle is on its roof over to the right shoulder. Also westbound 8 at the northbound 805 connector ramp, a collision. Traveling on South 5 coastline right before La Costa, there is a collision involving a couple vehicles. Looks like one in the fast lane, one over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Roundel Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Roundel Report with Paul Roundel.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Roundel Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Happy
All right.
Wednesday, gentlemen. Yeah, let's start little sports media news, big sports media news yesterday. ESPN had themselves quite a 24 hours. I guess we can start with the smaller of the 2 stories, I suppose. First of all, ESPN has reached an agreement to join with WWE, and that will include streaming WrestleMania and other select pay-per-views on their streaming platform. ESPN will have that. I think they've been on Peacock lately. They have an agreement with Netflix and a couple other outlets, but ESPN is really jumping in to the pro wrestling game. And then the big news was that ESPN did finalize their deal with the NFL to acquire NFL Network and pretty much everything that encompasses, including Red Zone, from the NFL in exchange for the NFL is getting a 10% equity stake in ESPN. So I don't even know what 10% of ESPN is valued at, but that's what the NFL is essentially getting. ESPN is going to take on the lease for NFL Network Studios, which is there by SoFi Stadium. They will have, I think Chris Hansen has already announced he will stay with Red Zone and move over to ESPN.
Scott,
what did I say?
Chris.
The pedophile hunter, Chris Hansen. Yeah.
I don't think he's calling a whole lot of Red Zone. That one might surprise me.
Yeah.
Take
Scott Hansen will be
Scott
there. Chris Hansen will not be there.
That's a good one.
Just so you remember. Now, Paulie, so it says their streaming service will launch in early fall. Going to be $29.99 a month.
Yes.
Keep the linear network's name. So I've got cable. Nothing changes for me, or do I now have to pay another $30 a month
I
for
think
something?
if you already are paying for cable, I think
Which I
you're
am.
still going to get your Red Zone just via ESPN. Now, this is a content play, though. Both of these stories, actually. They are looking to build as much value as they can before they launch this service. For the people who have cut the cord, they want you to feel like you have to pay the $30 a month to get all the ESPN stuff. And they're trying to make it irresistible. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a Red Zone fan, if you want to watch, football games, whatever, NBA, whatever they have, they want to make sure that you feel like you're $30 a month. That when you make that decision, you go, yeah, I guess I better pony up my $30 a month because I want my Red Zone. I want everything that I get. I get ABC. I get all the ESPN channels, ESPNU, ESPN2, the SEC network, all their sub channels that they get. And they want you to feel like you're getting a good value because that's a pretty high price point for just one one essential streaming system per month.
Right.
So these acquisitions are specifically designed to get people who are on the fence, I think, to push them over the top and pay that $29.99 a month.
I think that would be probably my most expensive streaming subscription
For most people,
sure.
I would say.
Yeah.
It's more than HBO Max, right?
Oh, yeah. I think those are all like anywhere from like $10 to $15, I think, at least for the basic.
They've been going up a little bit.
They go
Netflix is up to like 24 or something
I thought it was like still $13.99.
I don't know.
You know who doesn't raise their prices ever? Ben and Woods.
That's true.
You know.
Same low price that you've always gotten.
Yeah, we got it.
Everybody else is gouging people. I don't want to gouge anybody, but is it bad business not to right now, Benny? and I somebody said, well, say goodbye to 8 hours of 7 hours commercial free football. Is that they're still gonna Red Zone's gonna stay the same, right? They better.
I don't know the official answer to that. I would assume, I don't think they're gonna screw with the product too much. Like I know right now on cable, like NFL Red Zone has its kind of own channel. It's like a sub channel of the NFL Network. So I don't know how that's going to look on traditional cable with ESPN, if they'll have their own channel for Red Zone or if it's only through the app and you can get access to it if you use your cable login. I'm still not sure.
It's very confusing, as it always is.
Yeah.
And Paul, you're going to have to walk me through it once we get there.
Once I figure it out.
As long as they keep everything that they can off of ESPN Plus, which might be the worst.
Well, so I think that's going away.
App I've ever.
Well, you'll get all of that.
It's all going to be the ESPN
I mean,
worth
app.
it.
The new ESPN.
I don't know. I mean, will it be better? We'll find out, I guess, when it comes out. But the other part of this story is the concern that ESPN has been one of obviously the biggest coverers of the journalistically of the NFL since its inception.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the NFL owns 10% of ESPN, can you really trust ESPN to report negative stories on the NFL? Will it be, burying, big scoops because it makes the NFL look bad because they're going to have a say-so in it?
Is Adam Schefter now a league employee?
Technically, at least in part of a way, he will be. Now, Disney, who ultimately owns ESPN, has said nothing journalistically will change about ESPN covering the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised that you're skeptical about that. The only thing that I can say is that if you don't think the NFL already tries to put their thumb on ESPN and Fox and CBS and all of their outlets, Prime, everything, well, you're being very naive. Now, sometimes they probably can do it more, sometimes they can do it less, but this has always been going on. They're in their pockets for billions of dollars in rights deals. They are partners. The ESPN has always, they need the NFL to succeed and be popular so people will watch ESPN. They're not looking to take down the league at its core journalistically, but I think the NFL has to realize that bad things will happen and ESPN will continue to report on those bad things. You can't just ignore them and hope they will go away.
Agreed.
And thank you, Jake, who just threw in $5 in our YouTube chat because Ben and Woods never raised their prices.
That's right. We add additional content too, like Ben and Woods Off the Air. Go check that out on YouTube.
Also free, but thank you for paying for it.
Thank you.
And our gold member streams, also free,
right.
Except you do pay for the gold membership.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
We haven't raised those prices.
No, we have not. It's been like almost 3 years now. We haven't raised prices. That's how much we love you guys.
That's how much we love you.
All right, and we'll wrap it up here with some ice cream talk. How about that?
Ooh, sure.
Fine by me.
Now, one of the ingredients for ice cream is a dairy product, milk, and there's so many different types of milk now. There's there's skim milk, whole milk, 2%, almond milk, oat milk,
soy milk, ice cream,
goat
milk ice cream. You can get that for sure.
Yeah. Well, now, as of right now, actually, you can get a pint of breast milk flavored ice cream delivered to your house from a company. It's a parenting company, Frida. They are based out of New York, and they have released a limited number of breast milk flavored ice cream pints. They're $12.99. They have sold out every single day that they've been put up on their website. It's a 2-pint minimum, by the way, so $13. You're spending at least $26 on your 2 pints of breast milk ice cream. And The website says just like Mom used to make.
Oh my!
Looks like French vanilla. It's kind of yellow.
It does have the appearance of French vanilla.
Yeah, the internet has gone crazy with this one. Now, I guess the first question is the answer is no, it's not actually made of real human breast milk.
Okay, it's not.
No.
Okay.
It is not. Their full ingredient list includes milk, heavy cream, skim milk powder, sugar, dextrose, egg yolks, more sugar, caramel flavoring, honey syrup. They say
It's
that
just
they have
ice cream then.
They say it tastes like as if they were using breast milk.
Who remembers
or is testing what it's supposed to taste like?
Who remembers, and who sits there at age 28 and like, man, I long for the taste of my mother's breast milk, and that's what I've been missing in my ice cream, and it's just something I haven't had in so long, but I remember the taste, and I need to get that flavor back in my mouth ASAP. No one. I'll tell you,
literally not a single person.
Now I've tasted it before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had to. You have to kind of test it on your wrist, and then you kind of lick it off.
Temperature.
All right. Yeah, temperature.
You got it out of the bottle. Oh, you're saying you got it out of the bottle after it already been pumped.
Yeah, I didn't go straight to the source. I mean, I
draft.
have gone. It's my favorite source, to be honest with you. But it's at that time, you don't go to the source very much. And but I remember making my wife would pump and have frozen bags, and then you unfreeze it, and then you heat it up in the bottle warmer, and then you put it on your wrist, and you taste. Okay, yeah, it's good.
You're not really tasting, you're temperature checking to make sure that you're not burning your baby.
But I would lick my hand after I put it on my wrist, right? So I would taste it.
The website details it as sweet, a little salty, smooth, with hints of honey and sprinkles of colostrum, and features a distinct colostrum yellow tinge.
All I can say is if you buy this,
you're a pervert.
Well, maybe, but you're just really a mark.
Maybe.
I mean, you're a rube. It's not even what you think it is. It's just ice cream. Paulie gave you the ingredients. They are just normal ice cream ingredients: milk, cream, sugar. I mean, egg yolks.
Colostrum.
They're just imagining what the flavor might be. You're not even getting the real perverted deal that you're hoping for.
The perverted deal, and they're not doing different. Like, this is so and so's breast milk. This is so and so's breast milk. That would be a little bit more concerning.
Well, yeah, because then you'd have to have a factory full of women who are just pumping out the ingredients for your ice cream.
That is something else, man. It is something else. Chris says, "Don't tell people how to consume." You're right. You're right.
Yeah. We don't tell people how to fan. We don't tell people how to ice cream.
Try not to. Yeah, Ben, why are you so perturbed that it's not real breast milk, as Julian wants to know?
I think, if you're advertising something, it should be the authentic, real deal. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You probably buy the real deal like on Etsy somewhere anyway. So
you probably can. There's probably websites where you can get the real thing. There's no question.
I would assume there are.
So I've heard. All right, that's it for us, gentlemen.
Almost.
That's it for you. You will be on your way back, from Hawaii by this time tomorrow, according to your travel schedule.
We'll
and
track your
assuming no
flight
delays
during our show.
Yeah, I have to leave. Found out we have to leave the house here tomorrow by 3 a.m. It's going to be a very long travel day, but we will get home to San Diego at about 4:30. Be great to get back and see you guys on Friday. Have a great show tomorrow without me.
All right. Thank you very much, Woods. Have a safe trip back. We will see you on Friday morning for the manager's report with Mike Schilt.
Don't forget the equipment. Adam wants us to remind you.
We will try to get through the roundtable without you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. All right. That is it for us. We got Padres baseball tonight. Before that, though, Braden's coming up next for the following 4 hours. For Stephen Woods, for Paul Reindl, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. From all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long.